Hello and welcome, heroes, to Crit Academy's Extra Credit Patreon game. Sorry we're a little late. Life's kind of busy, and we were tinkering with some new stuff. So Foundry, actually, anybody who just watched the recent episode of Crit Academy, we kind of went through some of that stuff. So pretty cool program. So we'll be using that today a little bit, depending on how far my colleagues here get in the game. We are continuing our part 3 of Siege on Bordrin's Watch, a adventure path from Dungeon Magazine for 4th edition D&D that I have converted to 5th edition. Very loosely, actually. So I'm really excited. If you're into 5th edition or if you're into 4th edition at all, this is a good... if you're not into 4th edition, this is a great example of how well some of the adventures were written, albeit they do focus a little more on the combat side and the tactics than 5th edition, though I have tried to balance that out, so I'm super excited to go through it. Our heroes found themselves in a very precarious position. In Siege of Bordrin's Watch, a call came from the city of Overlook, and our heroes, along with many other adventuring parties, answered the call. And here, once they got to the town, they learned that the over on the other side of the mountains into the Barrens area where the orcs normally reside, they've been breaking through, and they found some of the orcs wandering around on this side, the overlooks, I want to say Overwatch, overlooks side of the mountains, as well as attacking some of the Bordrin's Watch fortifications, which is a large fortified keep that kind of protects the passageway between the two sides of the mountain. And they haven't been doing super well, but they've been holding off. Our heroes were tasked with discovering and locating where they're coming in at, and specifically going to the dwarven Bordrin monastery to warn them. Unfortunately, when our heroes arrived, they were already slaughtered. The orcs had already got in and, slayed a bunch of the poor sleeping dwarves when they arrived. And so our party dispatched many of the orcish brutes and discovered their entrance into the monastery came from an old hidden passage down into the mountain area. Our heroes have ventured down into this, and it has not been good to them. Tracking down entire armies been kind of easy, but they came to end up some forks in the road, having to dodge some... What was some of the stuff you guys just chose not to go that way? I don't remember what I described, but some dangers that... Go ahead.
Ooze on the ceiling, and we were like, that's a lot of acid. No.
They were all a bunch of little oozes hanging from the ceiling, that's right. And so you guys are like, I'm done with this, let's go back the other way, and you end up finding some tracks that you guys believe are tied to maybe one of the other adventuring crew that has been hired to identify this location that the orcs are breaking in and help seal it. Do you guys want to tell us what happened the last episode?
We followed a scouting party into a lava area.
Mm-hmm.
Found an abandoned camp, and were attacked by some magma mephits. And we blew them up, and they blew us up, and we got beat to crap. And then we decided to take a rest.
Yep. And that's currently where you at. It was definitely a tough fight. Unfortunately, one of your buddies was injured so bad he cannot no longer proceed because he is a burning thing of charcoal on the side right now because he didn't show up. So we're just moving on. Godspeed. So that's where we're going to pick up this adventure. You guys have delved into the chamber. You kind of found an area of rest. You guys are recovering. You guys took a little bit of a nap, kind of cycling between each other, taking watch to make sure you weren't attacked by any more magma mephits. You suspected this was a little bit safer because this was somebody else had already previously camped here. The caverns are a very tight squeeze. It's getting narrower and narrower as you go. So the question is, before I start narrating the travel forward, what are Abando, the half-elf rogue, and Shockwave, the artificer? What are your guys' kind of discussion as you guys are getting up, recovering from that the previous day's actions?
Um,
It's hot in here.
yeah, yeah. I don't want to be in here. We are out of water. It's hot. But at the same time, we have nothing good to report.
Yeah. Did you guys end up failing any Constitution saving throws or anything, and acquiring any loss of any exhaustion or anything? I don't think you did, because you still had water, if I remember right.
Hmm.
I succeeded my saving throw and was able to take a full long rest.
I don't.
And Abando failed his saving throw and had to choose between hit points or spell slots.
Yep, that's right. And which did you choose?
I don't remember, but probably hit points. How many hit points?
Yeah, it was either full hit points or full spell slot recovery, not both.
I definitely picked full hit points then. Yeah.
Okay.
Slots.
All right, so the temperature in here is continually rising, no matter how much you guys try to cool yourself off with your hand, waving any sort of effort you take. As you've run out of water, this is becoming a bit of a problem. You guys are kind of making your way through the twisted maze of caverns, and I need survival checks from both of you.
One.
No.
Is there a specific way to do this on Foundry?
Oh no, don't worry about that right now. That's just for tracking.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Position right now. But I wanted to introduce you guys to it because I will be using it more and more. But this was a good way for one of the potential battle that might happen requires it. But you can still just roll on your with your regular dice. We'll integrate Foundry a little better as we go.
Mine was a total of 10.
We got a 10, Bando?
I'm a 7. 7.
All right, so as you guys are making your way, squeezing tightly, your armor is rubbing up against the jagged rocks in this tunnel. Pebbles and dust are kind of sprinkling on your head. You get to a couple different intersections, and you get kind of confused because there's 3 breaks and 3 sets of footprints kind of trampled over. You don't know if it's like one set of footprints back and forth, or if it's a collection of them going back and forth between these 3 different directions. So you're not really sure what is the best direction to go here. If kind of as you kind of look down one of the creaky crevices, you can see maybe a slight flicker of light, but it's so dim that it probably could be some sort of underground insect. It could be a torch off in the distance. You're not really sure. Down one of the other twisting caverns. Once again, these, I say caverns, they're crevices. I mean, they're barely splits in the rock, And as you listen, you can hear what sounds like some sort of like I don't know, maybe a rhythmic breathing or an in and out kind of howling noise. It's steady and consistent, so you're not sure if it's like something breathing in and out or just some, wind running through the caverns. It's unsure. And then the last one on the farthest right, there's a horrible smell coming from it, like maybe a strong sulfur smell, maybe. It smells really like a lot like rotten eggs.
You just leave that behind?
It certainly was one of the options previously. So how do you guys want to do this? Down the one with the slight dim light, the one with the sulfur smell, which is very similar to one you smelled earlier, and then the one with kind of the howling, billowing noise.
The sulfur smell is what led us to the oozes, right? Grey
Yes.
oozes?
Yes.
I think so. Yes.
Yes, that is correct.
So
don't wanna
not
go
that one.
Yeah, I'll tell you that right outright because you've already explored that.
And we couldn't tell which way the tracks went.
No, there's tracks. They're going all different directions, but because they're so scuffed up and worn in, it's hard to tell if they're coming or going, and whether it's. Imagine if people were kids running in and out of a house, in and out different doors, leaving footprints. They're there, but it's kind of hard to tell which direction they're going.
Mm-hmm.
That whooshing sound? Can I tell if it is mechanical or biologic?
Give me a nature check. You can both probably give me a nature check.
Losing my
15.
nature plus 4. 14.
So as you guys are kind of discussing your different options in this area, you basically agree the sulfur is probably going to lead you right back to the big cavern with the oozes. That's a pretty quick conclusion you come to. As you're listening, you have confirmed that whatever that noise is, it's non-random and it sounds like a breath, so it's lightly coming from a beast. And judging by the echo, it's probably a large beast of sorts.
Which leads us to the two options of it's a captive beast of the orcs, or it's a wild beast that we can totally ignore because it's probably native and such.
Mm-hmm.
So then we had the third option, third path.
But just a flickering
light.
light. Very, very dim light.
Which could be torches or other light source from the orcs. I'm gonna vote for the green light.
I like the light. Yeah, we're in a tight, small cavern. I don't want to be backed into a corner by something huge.
All right. And I know I've asked this before. The languages. Did any of you speak Orcish?
Yes.
No. Okay. I know
Yes.
both
I
of you do?
Mm.
Or just a bando?
I do as well.
Okay, good. So as you guys are making your way through the twisting, jagged rocks, you're kind of pushing and squeezing through. Your armor's getting all scraped up. You're getting little nicks on your body. It's getting it starts to get smaller, but at the last second, it kind of opens and widens into a corridor. Like this cavern just came busting through some sort of hallway. You instantly find yourself in this well-designed dwarven hallway. You recognize the architecture of dwarves. It's unmistakable. So this looks like it kind of busted out or busted through the hallway leading back into the caverns you just came from. As you look down the one direction, it's complete darkness, but there is a thrumming kind of warm I would say beating light coming down the southern as the hallway kind of slowly has an incline deep that dips down into it. You can see dwarven runes kind of written on the sides that just scream Mordrin and his greatness and all that dwarven jazz.
Which I also speak.
Yeah, so it's all about his greatness. I don't have anything written down for that, but if there's anything you'd like to know, I can pull something up. Let me see. No, not a Modron, Justin. The deity. It's Mordrin, right?
Moradin.
Moradin. That's why it didn't come up.
I did.
All right. So as you're reading through this, you can see that it talks about the hammers of Mordrin. You know, here is forged the armor for the elite military hammers of Mordrin, crusaders and battle clerics, and on and on and on about the order itself. Here it goes on to talk about the forging of their armors, their hammers, anything that can assist them in the slaying of orcs, great worms, malevolent fiends, and other fiendish creatures from other planes. It talks about the dedication of the defense of the existing Bordrin's hold, the monastery, as well as Overlook, and other similar territories.
Does this look like a dwarven ruin or
It
our way into a bottom end of a dwarven community?
basically it's if you had to if you're as you're imagining this. You basically took a hidden passage out of the building, and one of the passages ends up coming back somewhere else within the structure in some way deeper in the mountain. In this case, in some sort of forge. Whether it was tied to the monastery, you're not sure. It certainly could be tied to Bordrin's watch or the vents related to it. That was discussed when they were assigning, the council was assigning teams to go to certain locations. So likely you've worked your way through all these tunnels and have found a break point or a breakthrough. Either somebody broke out from that area or broke into that area.
Could we, since like all of these things are talking about like the forge and these weapons being created, could it lead us to where this forge is?
You can assume by the blinking, the dim light, that likely might be coming from, it might be a forge near the end of this passage.
All right, not being very good at sneaking at all, I'm gonna try to go forward quietly. As much as my scale mail clanks and bangs, and generally I'm not sneaky, but I'm gonna try.
I'm gonna make an effort, and that's all that matters.
Make an effort. Double 19s, holy fuck. That is a 21 stealth.
We'll need one from a bando.
Sure thing. A bando is going to say,
all right.
Ooh, nice. So it's a 21. Bando's definitely, once he sees Shockwave starting to like be sneaky or like hug the wall or whatever, he's going to be like, Shockwave, it looks like you've got this. You take the lead, I'll be up there. And he puts on his slippers of spider climbing and sneakily crawls across the ceiling.
I like
keeping
that.
Up with Shockwave.
So you're walking on the ceiling, right? That's awesome. Mm-hmm. I always forget that, and I think that's so cool. So as you guys are making your way down, you're trying your Shockwave is trying his best to stifle his foot. So what he does is he grabs a couple old cloths that he usually use for washing his equipment and stuff, and wraps it around his feet as he starts shuffling along. They're getting all kind of filth and dirt on them, but worth it. As you guys are able to approach, and as you get closer and closer, you can hear kind of screaming and yelling in Orcish, and you hear kind of a collection of the sound of orcs chanting. I'm trying to think of a really good chant. For victory! For victory! For victory! For the horde, sort of shit like that. And I couldn't resist. And you hear one is yelling, saying in a big burly orcish voice, "Do you know what you've done? You have closed off the passage!" And you just hear the sound of a pained scream coming from another burly creature. And as you kind of peer around the corner, you see a fearsome blaze rages on one side of the natural cavern. A bit of lava flowing in and out of this cavern, making silhouettes of a small contingent of orcs that's gathered here. They seem intent on something on the opposite side of the room, where you can hear the grunts and shouts above the roar of the molten streaming lava, and they're chanting. What do you want to do?
Can I get an approximate number of orcs?
Yeah, go ahead. Both of you give me some perception checks, and I'll feed you some more information.
Ooh, nat 20 on that.
Nice.
Total of 20. 17 plus 3.
All right, so a couple things. as you kind of peek around there, Shockwave, you do instantly spot that there are 4 orcs in total. One is hulking and brutish, and appears to be choking a dwarf, missing half of its beard, blood running deep down his body, and his face is being dragged across the stone, and he's this hulking orcish warrior is just screaming at him, repeatedly shouting, "Because of you, the armory cannot get through. I'll have your head for this. I will enjoy torturing you." And of course, the other orcs are kind of cheering. Now, Abando, you actually spot that there is a really great blind spot that if you need to engage in combat, that you could actually probably get the jump on these orcs pretty good if you can manage to make your way over to a set of boulders that manages to get really close. And as you look at them, you realize it's not really boulders; they're giant anvils, or less anvils and more nuggets. They're giant, like, metal nuggets of they look like anvils, but they're all like tarnished and damaged and broken. As far as you can, well, you got a 20, didn't you? They look like they're worn out. Anvils. They're damaged beyond repair. They look like they probably came here to melt them down or something like that. But you do see that there is a small opening at the opposite end of this room that appears to leave, but it's not a regular door. It's another. It looks like it might have been like an arch at one point, and it's all broken in rubbles, and it looks like it's collapsed in on itself. So what do you got? How do you guys want to do this?
There's about how many of them?
There is 4 orcs in total, 3 smaller orcs carrying spears, and 1 big one with a giant axe. I probably should actually check to see what they're...
Shockwave, do you have an axe?
An axe? No.
Do you have an axe to grind with these people? That's funny.
I have an idea, but I'm not sure how bad it is.
Sorry, I was being visited.
Daddy time.
Right. If you have an idea, have at it. I can blow shit up, but 3 and then a big one with an axe.
Yeah.
And a dwarf.
I said spears. They got javelins in their hands and a great axes on their back, and then there's a really big burly one. Missing an eye. So
I say to
Sorry. Go ahead. You're good.
So Bando says to Shockwave, if we want, there could be a 6th orc.
Okay.
6
Illusions?
orcs be me.
Illusion.
This may require a little bit of finesse. Luckily, I speak their language, but I don't know. What do you think the odds are that they'll cotton to a new orc appearing in their midst?
Sure.
You hear a thud, 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 and you look over, and the guy is the orc, the giant orc is beating, I can't even get it out, is beating the dwarf. You love rocks! He's beating him with a rock. You damaged our only entrance! This poor,
Yeah.
this dwarf doesn't look like he's gonna make it.
Gonna cast Disguise Self.
Okay.
And I would like to make myself about 1 foot taller. As much mass as I can add to myself. And what else can I do? My clothing, armor, weapons look different. Oh, so I can look like I'm holding his axe.
You can.
Maybe. Or an axe. Okay. Yeah, I want to try my best to look just like this, the biggest orc, the leader orc.
You know, look just like the leader orc? Oh, shit.
That's the plan.
Nice.
I did get my feat should help me with this. I took the actor feat.
Nice.
But I can't find the description for it now. Oh, there it is. You have advantage on charisma checks when trying to pass yourself off as a different person. You can mimic the speech of another person or the sounds made by other creatures. You must have heard the person speaking or heard the creature make a sound for at least 1 minute.
So you've easily probably been watching these guys beat this guy for at least a minute as he's been shouting. So I would say you comfortably meet that requirement.
Go ahead and pretend to be an orc, I guess.
All right, I want to add a little bit. I want to put a little pepper on this too, because I'm not convinced that just looking like the guy is going to work. I also want to cast my minor illusion. I'm open to ideas, Shockwave, of what to do with the minor illusion, but I want to add to the overall subterfuge.
You make yourself stink because these orcs all stink.
Ooh, that's good. Oh, it's a sound or an image, though. I don't see anything about smells.
As prestidigitation.
Oh, yeah.
Good thought, though.
Got it. I know what I'm going to do. You can create a sound, a volume. So I'm going to try to cast the minor illusion on the opposite, like where, basically behind the biggest orc, so that he, actually not behind him, behind the. I'm assuming most of the orcs are looking at the big orc.
Yeah, they're cheering him on.
So I want to cast minor illusion behind them, not the leader, but behind them. And I just want it to be a high-pitched scream, just a distracting high-pitched scream or roar. My goal, I'll just say my goal is for them to turn around, and when they turn back around, they'll see two of us.
Hey, look, it's Elvis kind of a thing. I like it. I like that.
So, but you have disguised self, so you can make yourself look like an orc.
So basically what I want to do is look like the leader guy, use minor illusion to try to get them to all turn around and look the other way, and then pop up and appear, or maybe like sneak over next to him, so that when they turn back around, suddenly there's two of them. I don't know if all of that's going to work, but that's kind of what
I'm going to be
do.
honest. You've got the actor feat, you've got your alter self, and you're using minor illusion, and you're getting help from Shockwave. So you will, you kind of sprinkle a little pixie dust, and you start, flickering, and you look like an exact image of this big brute. As he's brutishly smashing this poor dwarf's face into the stone. You kind of sneak into position where they won't see you that you spotted earlier, and you kind of look over at Shockwave, and you kind of cross your fingers for a second. You snap your fingers and create that distraction, and all of the orcs turn and look and draw their weapons and start looking around, and then they don't see nothing. At that point, you dash right up alongside where the dwarf and the monstrous orc are. They all turn around and they go, and they kind of just freeze in place for a second.
And I point to the leader and I say, "Who is this imposter?"
Imposter? You're the imposter. I'm Zook.
I'm Zook.
What? What is this? You cannot be Zook. I am Zook. Men, kill him. Now give me your...
You cannot be...
Oh, go ahead.
To Zook. Men, kill him.
And they kind of just look back and forth in confusion. Go ahead and give me your check.
What check?
That's certainly deception.
Deception. Okay. Oh goodness.
Actually,
Okay.
I think there could be a case be made for performance too, because you're acting.
Okay.
Wait, is any one of those either one of those higher?
Deception's higher.
Okay, well then go with that. Okay.
Okay. And I got an 18.
What are you doing? Kill him! I am your commander. For Groosh! And they're just shouting back and forth, and they look for confusion. He's like, what did I just tell you? Kill him! And you can hear them muttering to themselves. Ooh. They're the same. Why is one Zook is bad enough? Why is there two? There's two. Does that mean twice the whippings?
It means twice the spoils. If you follow my orders, I will pay you well, as I always have. When I've paid you.
So I tried to feed you the types of things that he does as a player, so that you could kind of go off of that.
Yeah.
And the fact that they thought they were gonna get whipped twice means that he's very brutal. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna need another check, and he goes. They all start looking at each other and they say, "You got paid?" I didn't get paid. They all look at the last orc and say, You held out on us. And they start kind of mumbling and debating amongst themselves. What is Shockwave doing at this moment?
Shockwave is very confused. And sitting here thinking, I could rinse them all with a flamethrower, but otherwise, I got nothing.
So I'm going to go ahead and need another check from you.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Whew. What'd you get?
Is this another stealth check or for me?
Stealth for you, and I'm gonna take a. You'll have advantage on your stealth because there's a lot of distractions going on. But
okay, so
I need a deception.
My disadvantage.
Deception. Okay.
I'm keeping this dice forever. 19 stealth.
19 stealth. So your armor kind of bumps quickly up against the thing, but you kind of slide back. Luckily, they're so distracted you don't think they saw you. What did you say you got, Bando?
I got a 20. 20.
So they start looking at each other and like, Zook offer money. That Zook whips us. New Zook, new Zook, new Zook. And they all draw their weapons, and they says, "You fools!" And he takes the dwarf and just smashes it into one of the orcs, and he just gets crushed into the ground. And you just kind of see the orc and the dwarf are kind of just twitching there a little bit. The dwarf seems to still be alive, but just barely. And the two other orcs draw their weapons and attack. Roll initiative. It's the four of you against this one guy.
I got a 6.
Of course you did.
I also got a 6.
That's not great.
I'm just gonna stay back hiding for now, anyways. So we'll see how this goes.
It's gonna be a short game.
I mean, if you get in trouble, if they jump on you, I'll rinse them with a flamethrower. But otherwise,
so I do gotta say that was a very clever way to deal with the fact that there's only two of you. I mean, I cut the number of monsters down in half, and you came up with. This is why I love roleplay, because that sort of shit just doesn't happen in video games, right? All right, so the squad of orcs lash out at Zook, and they're just screaming, "No Zook, no Zook!" as they're like thrusting or swinging when they thrusting with their They're javelins. Which, by the way, is there anything difference between a javelin and a spear? In the mechanic-wise for 5e, does anybody know that? Because I feel like those are almost identical.
I don't think spears have the same, throw range.
No.
But it is very close.
Like, why would you ever take the other one then? Like, why'd you ever? I guess proficiency. I guess.
It's flavor. One thing I've always kind of
versatile.
grumbled about is the lack of like a longsword / battle axe piercing weapon. They don't have that versatile 1d8, 1d10 piercing weapon. But other than that,
All right, so
yeah, that's the main difference. The you can throw a javelin much farther.
Is one like martial and one simple?
Both simple.
They're both simple.
Then why would you just not get rid of the spear or give it reach or something? I don't know. Anyway, so
That's basically been my complaint.
the remaining orcs jump and pile on this guy and are thrusting their I keep trying to say spears, their javelins at him left and right. They're piercing. He's getting a couple holes in him, and he winds up and grabs one of them.
Oh, the spear is versatile 1d8.
And the javelin's not?
You can, and the javelin is only a thrown or 1d6.
One-handed? Yeah, okay.
One-handed.
All right, so the orc uses grabs his mighty axe, he swings it, and he cleaves off the head of one of the other orcs, and then immediately grabs one by the neck, and he says, "You bow to Groom! How dare you!" And while he's got this one in a chokehold, he looks directly at Abando in this orcish form. "And you, how dare you steal my likeness? I will destroy you all, and I will free these caves so that my armies may come rushing through. Understand me?" So he's got one in a hold. He cleaved the head off of the other one. And it is now, who's got the higher, I assume Abando's got the higher dex. Abando?
If he doesn't, I would be disappointed in him.
Yeah. 14 dexterity.
Oh.
No, not a check. Just what is your score? Your dex score is 14, so yeah. So that means you go first.
We have the same dexterity, but he can go first anyways because it's up there.
All right, go ahead, Abando. It's now your turn. This big beady orc with a missing eye is staring you down. You've got your illusionary costume. He's got another orc held in his throat. One is decapitated. One is squashed with a dwarven body that is still twitching. You can see his eyes kind of rolled, and you can see him lightly breathing. What are you gonna do?
Not gonna cast a cantrip because I don't know if this guy can. He doesn't look like it looks like that might break the illusion. I'm gonna attack him. Yeah, I'm just gonna attack him. I'm gonna not with the fake axe though. That seems like a bad idea too.
He's got a cool bonus action I forgot about. Sorry, go ahead.
I guess I'll use I'll attack him with my short bow.
Okay.
So just yeah. I'm gonna say, "For Groom, damn you, Zook, you fake Zook."
I can't believe that worked. That actor feat. Didn't you just say earlier? I don't know. I'll probably forget to use this, but and you literally got to use it right away. That's awesome.
That's the first time I've ever seen the actor feat actually used in person.
Doesn't it? It gives you a pretty big bonus, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty cool at feat. So I got a 16 to hit.
Yes, that'll do it.
5 damage.
So you shot him with a crossbow or a short bow?
Short bow, yeah.
So you kind of you jump back, you draw a bow, almost like out from behind you, but it just gets pulled through the illusion, and you draw the bow and release it with a streaking whistle. It catches him in the shoulder. He snarls, "Ha! I knew it!" And he snaps the arrow. "Is that all you got?" And he chucks the bit of it back at you. You see it kind of just trickling blood a little bit through his ring mail. Anything else?
Are there any orcs like fully okay, still standing, or
Just the one he's holding right now. He
then I'm gonna
he cleaved through the first two pretty quickly.
I'm gonna use my movement to move like maybe like midway, like close about half of the distance between me and Shockwave, but I don't want to get like right up next to Shockwave and give away his position.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about to do that myself.
So you kind of you skitter back a little bit and kind of hunker behind one of the broken anvils. What are you gonna do, Shockwave?
There's only one, so now I don't want to rinse everybody with flamethrower. Or I guess one and end up partial. It's being choked, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the pistol. I get hidden attacker, right? Like I don't know. I didn't expect to use that with this guy, but right, hidden attacker.
Yeah, unseen attacker.
Unseen, that's the one. So I'm gonna go for the pistol shot on the real Zook.
Okay.
Which is 17 to hit.
Yes.
So he's gonna take 9 points of piercing damage.
Ooh.
And then, as a bonus action, as a bonus action, I'm going to have my homunculus servant peek his head out over the corner and do a force strike, which is my spell cat. His doesn't count as hidden though, right? After my first attack.
No, once you attack it, you're revealed.
That's a 19 on the die plus 8. I'm pretty sure 27 hits, and then he is a 1d4 plus 2. 3 points of force damage.
All right, so you pop out, you pull out your you kind of just are angling. You're doing one of those like police kind of things where you kind of peek around the corner and you take a pot shot. And then your little turret, is that like floating? Is it on legs? I forget.
It has like grappling. I mean, it can float, but it has like grappling legs that it like hangs on my back. So what happens is I like peek around the corner and shoot, and then off of my shoulder, the turret peeks around me and shoots.
I love that. As as both blasts kind of hit him, he kind of stumbles back. His eye goes wide. Oh, he's got more! Listen to me, fool! I'm the one you follow, not him!
And then I'm gonna, like, the guy can't hide because I'm rogue.
Right.
I'm gonna just, like, step back around behind the...
Full cover?
Yeah.
Do you understand me? And he kind of is shouting and bellowing, and he's trying to convince the person to come to his aid. Anything else?
That's all my actions.
Okay. Top of the initiative, you can as he drops the orc and he stumbles to the ground, you can see a little bit of moisture in his pants as he levels his spear and has now leveled his spear right at a bando in the form of the Orc of the Eye of Grumsh. He pulls back his javelin and runs over and ducks behind a anvil, giving him partial cover, and he's going to chuck the javelin at you, which I believe you have partial cover as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a 17 to hit. I don't know if that's going to hit with partial cover.
That will hit me. What does partial cover give me?
I think it's +2.
2? Yeah.
That's still gonna hit. Yeah.
All right, you're going to take 7 points of piercing damage as you know how the anvil's got that weird little opening underneath the bottom. It managed to slide right in there and skitter across your shoulder. A kind of a shock of pain, kind of almost like superheated, kind of rushes by you, and it kind of burns for a moment as the wound opens up, but it's not too bad. The other big giant Eye of Groom starts charging at you by the anvil, and he burls and he does like one of those one hand on the anvil and turns his body sideways as he vaults over top of it, landing right over top of your fake ass, and he's going to try to grapple you. Are you a medium size or a small size?
Medium,
Okay.
I think.
I was making sure, because if you were small, I was going to
Half
give
health.
disadvantage. Yeah, I was going to give disadvantage on the grapple check, or the contested check, but since you're not, because he's trying to grab an illusion up top, but you're not really, the difference isn't big enough now. Big enough. All right, so he's going to make a contested grapple check with one of his attack actions. Ooh, 22 to grapple.
That's a nat 1.
Oh, he got a hold of you. So you were caught by surprise. Your arm is kind of burning from the spear that was, or the javelin that was tossed at you. He comes leaping around, vaulting over the thing, catches you by surprise, quite literally, grabs you by the throat, and then grins. You dare impersonate a Eye of Groomsh? I'll show you. And then his eyes dart over to the spew and the river of magma. Let me show you. And he grabs you and starts running over to the little stream of lava that is spewing around one corner of the room that they obviously use to heat battle and either melt it or forge it or something. And unfortunately, it's half his movement. So he isn't going to be able to get there this round, but he does have a extra attack. So he is going to basically turn his spear on you and try to jam it in you while he's running, which is not going to hit you because I got a 1. So as you're wiggling and free and he's running and he's carrying you, he kind of tries to pull back and stab and he misses as it passes through your illusion. And he's like, "What is this sorcery?" And he kind of stumbles a little bit, and he looks up. His eye flashes for an instant, and you see a spectral axe appear around you, over your head, and it starts kind of spinning in place. And that's all. Spiritual weapon, I think, actually does attack when it comes into play too, doesn't it?
I believe so.
Spiritual weapon, right? I had to double check here so I'm not fudging anything. There it is.
Bonus action to create it. When you cast a spell, you make a melee spell attack.
Yep.
As a bonus action on subsequent turns, you can attack.
Okay, yeah. So it's still just casting it as a bonus action does it too. So it'll make another attack for a 17.
17 hits.
For 1d8 plus spell cap. Plus 3. So 5 points of damage. As this spinning axe kind of just clobbers you. And that is the end of his turn. As you look out, you see him running. He's dragging you right towards this pint of lava, or this flow of lava. And he'll probably get there if you can't break free. What are you going to do? He's got a firm grip on you.
Can I use an item if I'm grappled?
Sure. All grapple does mean you just can't move on your own. Or you move on his terms. But yes, you can use an item, you can attack, though attacks have disadvantage. Wait, no, they don't.
So as
They just are 0.
he's carrying me and running towards the magma, I want to reach into my pocket and pull out my portable hole.
Of course you do.
And kind of like a frisbee, like toss it so it lands right on the ground about like half a foot in front of him, so that his momentum will make him fall right into it.
How deep is that?
Along with me.
How deep was
6
that?
feet.
6 feet?
Oh, the depth is it's 6 feet in diameter and 10 feet deep.
All right, so 6 feet in diameter is definitely well within something that he can jump over. So what I'll do is I will give him, I don't know if I should give him a dex save or an athletics check too. No, he wouldn't know it was coming, so I would say it would be a dex save. Even though if in normal circumstances he could jump over it regularly, I'm going to say he needs to do a dex save to see if he can jump. I'll say if he succeeds, he'll make the jump regardless, but otherwise he's going to fall down. By the way, kudos on the use of portable hole as you're being dragged towards a river of lava. And he has 11 plus he's got a 12. What DC should that be? Surprise, motherfucker. I'm going to say, what's your spellcasting modifier?
+5.
+5. I'm going to say yes.
Intelligence.
So we'll say it's a 13, and I'll use your spellcasting as a thing instead of setting the DC. But yeah, he totally just tumbles in. He's running, he's dragging you there, and then you, whoop, that hole appears, and you hear a groomsh as he falls into the hole with a loud thud. You said it was 10 feet deep, so you're both going to take 6 points of bludgeoning damage from the fall.
Okay.
I should probably give him a save, too, to see if he maintains his grapple, too. Let's go ahead and do another contested grapple check to see if you are able to get free during the drop or the impact. He's got a 14.
Ooh, I got a 19.
So as you both fumble, boom, you're knocked prone in, but his grapple has been broken, and you are no longer being dragged like a rag doll to a river of lava. Do you have anything else? We'll say that took your action, which means you still have... you were... I would say... I'm going to say you're out of movement.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that. But you still have a bonus action, so... Which, as a rogue, means a lot.
Dash. Movement again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, dash. Can I use dash to climb?
Yeah, if you use dash to try to get out, you still have to make an athletics check, but you can, if you succeed, you'll get out.
Definitely want to do that.
Yep. It's a real simple athletics climb check, so.
Nice, I got a 17.
Oh, yeah, you nailed it. So, basically, as this guy is recovering, you jump on his head and use it to get out of the hole, and you just kind of look down. Thank God I've got that portable hole.
And when I get up there, I'm gonna point down and look at the orc that's still around and say, "The fake one's down there. Get him."
Give me a deception check.
Okay.
Because he's not gonna know. You both fell down there. You got to beat a 15.
Oh, I got an 18.
He says, "For groups," and he begins to charge towards the hole. Anything else? I think that's all your actions.
That's definitely all I can do.
Shockwave. So you saw both Groomsh, both Eye of Groomsh orcs fell down the hole. One climbed up and gave an order to the other one to attack the fake Groomsh in the hole. What are you going to do?
Shockwave doesn't know which one.
No, he doesn't. Dun dun dun.
I'm gonna run over to the hole. I'm gonna look at the one that's. I'm gonna pull out my implement, my multi-tool, and I'm gonna say, in common, "Who are you?" Can I wait for a response, or can I ready an action for a response?
I would say you can ready the action for the response. I will allow that.
So here's what if he replies in common. Actually, no. I'm gonna do it. You speak dwarf. We've talked about the languages. Oh, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure you speak dwarven, right? No, shit. Okay, now stick with common. That's a safe bet. Oh no, you are a half elf. Wait, do I speak? Oh shit, never mind. I don't speak elf. No, stick with common. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna ready action, and the two choices here are either he says something in Orcish or something bad that makes me think he is the bad guy. In which case, I'm going to use my cantrip Sword Burst. And if he doesn't, or if he tells me that he's a bando, I'm going to stick my implement into the hole, and I'm going to use Sword Burst in the hole.
Okay. So, this guy's not super bright. He's got a 9 intelligence. So the real question is would he know?
Well, I'm sorry. Maybe I missed it. Didn't the orc jump in the hole?
They both fell in the hole, but there's only one in there now. The other one climbed out.
Oh, okay. I missed that. I didn't realize you missed that. Okay.
Yeah, no, because he talked about using the bonus action dash to climb out of the hole, and then he gave the command to the other one, and the other one started running towards the hole.
But he hasn't gone in the hole yet. Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna kill that one. I know that one's neither one of them.
That is a very respectable answer.
Roll it back. I guess I was thinking he'd already jumped in.
Nope.
I was already making plans.
When he jumped, when he used his dash to get out, he pointed, "Go get him."
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot with my pistol.
And you're gonna shoot the regular
orc,
one that's running.
The regular orc, yes.
Okay. Going after the minions.
Just kill the minion. Just kill something.
Get rid of
17 to hit.
Yes.
Four points of piercing damage.
With a lot. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. I feel like I got a hiccup coming, but it doesn't actually. Okay. Anyways. All right. So yeah. So you gonna use the other attack too? It does hit. You got your little turret guy.
Hit for 4, and then I'm gonna have my homunculus pop up, and he's gonna attack. 14 to hit.
Yep.
Okay, and that's. I stop using the black one because it's getting dark in here. That's the 3 plus 5 points of force damage. Put you away.
All right. So at this point, Shockwave is unsure if the one that came out is his ally or not. So he takes the safest course of action. You kind of lead the target as it's dashing towards the hole. You release a bullet right in its leg. It kind of stumbles. Your turret creeps out from around your shoulder, releases another energy blast, smashes it right, and it begins to tumble, and its body right into the hole, out of line of sight.
I think it died. That's why.
You think it does. You think it did.
And then I have no other actions. Otherwise, I'm gonna just be ready to see what the IF Groomsh above me does.
All right. You hear? Go ahead.
And I'm gonna sit here considering whether or not I should just rinse them both.
That's funny. Drop them both. All right. So the you hear a roaring bellow come from inside the hole, and with a little bit of
not a bando sound.
Well, he's acting, so you wouldn't be able.
True.
Yeah,
That's
so
good.
they're both making they're because you overheard him speaking. He basically copied his speech and everything. I think that's how that actor feat works. You hear this bellowing roar. And he leaps out and crawls out of this hole, spits on whatever was left inside, locks dead eyes right with the bando. You fake! Let me show you how it's done! And he snaps his fingers and bellows, and that spinning axe comes flying out of nowhere, and he's really out to get a bando. He does not like you pretending to be him. And unfortunately, you see it coming, and you duck a little bit, and it shears your it shears right over your head and smashes with a thud into the side of the wall, causing, rocks and debris to kind of filter down. And he goes with big thunderous steps as he charges at you, and he's going to attempt to grapple you again. With a 20.
Yeah, he gets me.
He's got a hold of you. He says, "You will burn! I will burn that fake flesh off of you!" And he just starts running back towards the lava pit, and he is going to make a spear attack at you again. But unfortunately, your illusion makes it kind of difficult, and as he's running towards this pile, around the hole, not through the hole, he sees it now. And he's got a hold of you, and he's trying to, slam you with the spear, but unfortunately, it passes through your wiggling body and hits only your illusion, which means he obviously can see through it at this point. Once he touched you, he can see through it, but Shockwave can't, right? And anybody else. Oh shit! As a bonus action, the orc can move up to its speed toward the hostile creature. Man, I really should have read that aggressive feature a little better.
He's been using his bonus action for his spear weapon,
instead of the running. Otherwise, it would have got you to the lava quicker. But I guess that's in your best interest. And he's really close. Next round, he'll get you there. What are you gonna do, Abando?
First thing I'm gonna do is look over at Alston and say, "Stranger, I'm the real Zook. I'm shocked you couldn't tell.
Is there anybody for him to be fooling at this point? Okay, just I get it, but at the same time, I'm like,
he's a method actor. Once he's in it, he can't just break roll.
Oh, yes. From what I know of Abando at this point, I understand, but I still can't help but be like, really?
Nice. Take an inspiration for the whole portable hole and the actor and all that stuff. You've really been doing great with that.
Awesome.
I
So
changed
I'm
that
gonna
mechanic in
use.
Capes and Crooks. You know that?
I'm gonna try to break the grapple.
Good luck.
It's a what do I roll to break it? Strength check.
Strength or athletic, or acrobatics or athletics. It's up to you. He's got a 17.
I got an 18 plus 0. So
you slip free of his grapple as he stumbles over a rock after your horrible comment about being shocked. And you tumble free. What are you gonna do?
Dash straight towards Shockwave.
All right, that will open an attack of opportunity.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. 16. Oh no, that's gonna do it.
16 hits.
Does it? Okay. He grabs the weapon in both hands and thrusts it in your direction. I don't have two of those. Oh, yes, I do. You are going to take 11 points of piercing damage as he catches you right in the thigh as you turn tail and run, and he yells and bellows in Orcish, "Coward! You dare wear the face of an Eye of Grumsh, yet you turn tail and run!"
Yeah, he's not wrong. Because as he gets close enough to Shockwave, he just panically screams, "Do something! Do something! Do something! Do something!"
And I guess that would be Shockwave's turn then.
how close is he to the edge?
of the
Of the fire and the thing he was trying to drag
lava.
Bando towards.
He is
Yeah.
a short distance away, so less than 30 feet.
Okay. Is he within 10 feet away?
Let's make it true.
Okay. Fuck it. So, yeah, this isn't normally how I handle this per se, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it because it'll be funny.
I'm okay with that.
Excuse me. Shockwave. Oh, Shockwave is going to. He's already got his implement. Gonna run forward.
Okay.
It says a freebie spell, so I didn't favor it because I didn't think I'd use it, but I got it, so why not? And it's gonna turn into like a bullhorn looking thing,
Like blowhorn.
like bullhorn,
Bullhorn.
like megaphone, bullhorn,
Okay.
megaphone.
Gotcha.
And as he runs up, he's gonna grab a device and he's gonna stick it to the back, and it's gonna be like a pop, which is gonna be amplified straight at him, and I need him to make a DC 16 Constitution saving throw.
Ooh, he's got a +3. And he rolled a 4.
Okay, he is gonna take 2d8 thunder damage, 8 points of damage,
Woo.
and then he's going to be pushed 10 feet away by thunder wave.
Oh, right into it. All right. Hang on a second. All right. So did you shoot something, or you attached it to him? Because it's a melee.
Technically,
right?
technically it's a 15-foot cube
Ah,
cast from myself
okay.
as like a blast.
Thunder wave, right? Okay, so
Right.
you run up, you attach the device, you pull it, and it pops, and it sends him skittering and tumbling end over end as he dips legs first right into it. You hear a and instantly howling and screaming in agony. And he's trying to splash out, and as he does, it's getting on his face, and his face begins to melt, and he's flailing wildly, and eventually all you see is his hand sticking up as it drifts down, very much in the Terminator aspect, and his hand kind of twitches, and then... And you have managed to conquer the Eye of Grunch and his minions.
Second one of those.
What's that?
I think that's the second one of those we've killed. I guess I don't know what the lady was. Female or earlier. She was another priestess.
Yeah, I think she was Eye of Grunch too. All right.
Is the other one still in the bottom of the hole?
Yes,
I killed him. But his body is down there.
You killed him.
he is certainly down there. What's left of him is down there.
I put a hole in his head. His
Actually,
body fell into your portable hole.
it's so funny
Gonna
because
have to clean out my hole.
it's so funny. So, okay. So moving on.
Me.
So, in this room, you guys have managed to clear the orcs. The opposite end of the room, you see this big giant doorway has been just obliterated and has been caved in. From the conversation you overheard with him and the dwarf, it's clearly the passage, at least one of the passages that the orcs were using to invade over towards Overlook. And so this dwarf did everything he could to seal it.
So, I want to go check on the dwarf.
Give me a
If he's
medicine
still alive.
check.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I probably can't make it worse. Natural 20.
Woo! Wow, that is awesome.
Oh.
If you would have made it, looking at his wounds, If you would have been able to bandage it just moments earlier, he might have made it. He drowned on his own blood. If only you would have just taken a second to rush over to his aid, he might still be alive. I was running a ticker to see how many turns it would take for you to help him. You didn't make it. Sorry. But he basically choked on he suffocated on his own blood. You kind of turn his head sideways. You can see his beard, half his beard is just, not just missing, it was ripped out. His face is just all destroyed and disfigured. He's wearing armor, Mordin, on him, and he clearly is a dwarf of the monastery. But he's in full armor, broken hammer lays nearby.
Bando's gonna check his pockets.
Of course he is. Give me an investigation check, please.
16.
So as you're rifling through, you find a couple blood-soaked charms of Moradin, and you stumble across a little roll of paper, not like a full scroll, but a really tiny one that you open it up, and it says, Khaled, Overlook is under siege. Bordrin's watch is under siege. Overlook is next, and likely the monastery. I need you to find the 3 entrances and seal them up so they cannot enter. I have located 2 of them, but there has to be a 3rd. I believe it's in the vents, but I am unsure. Once you seal up the one in the forge, head over to the vents and seal it up there. Else, we run the risk of Overlook and Bordrin's watch falling. They have stood for centuries, and they should not fall to the orcs. Do what you can, and take a contingent take a dwarven contingency with you. And that's all it says.
I gonna hand the scroll to Shockwave as I continue sifting through, looking for like water or like coins or anything. Even if I don't find him, that's. I think he's maybe gonna glance at the scroll, but then just hand it to Shockwave.
All right, 1 second. What's that? Through Photopia.
Because you don't do dwarven, right? So I would have to it's
don't
probably in
read
dwarven.
Dwarven.
I should probably read it anyway.
For the explosion.
All
thing.
right, so this is a
The
forge.
other one was just the.
So there should be water. Nothing else quenching
Right.
water. So
Okay. I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean. No, she's working on her Kickstarter stuff, so important.
yeah, all we were saying is that it probably was in dwarven. He doesn't read dwarven. I do. So I have the scroll.
That's
the
an
next thing
excellent
is-
point, and I didn't think of that, so I'm glad you're on top of it.
Because I knew dwarven, I wasn't gonna worry about it. But this is a forge. There should be water, if nothing else, for quenching water.
Yes. So you do see. Well, let's be careful. It's got some of the forge stuff, but in and of itself, it's not a true forge. It's more like a melting, a scrap melting area, which is different than a forge. I was trying not to call it a forge because it's not really a true forge. They melt the metal that's scrap and then reforge into ignites and stuff. But you are able to find canisters on the body, or small canteens on the bodies of the orcs. The dwarf doesn't have one, but there are a couple you guys can salvage from the orcs. And it tastes awful. You don't even know if it's water.
So that would be my next question: is it water?
Certainly tastes funny. So you guys have a couple. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say my disguise lasts for an hour, and I'm gonna let it ride for now.
Okay then. I love it. So you guys got a couple options. You have found this information that could be super helpful to the elders, which was kind of part of what your goal was, is to come warn the monastery, find out where the the orcs are coming in from, and you've technically done that. So you could return with this note and yourselves intact, or you could venture forth towards the vent and try to ensure that it's closed.
So what I'm thinking, one, I'd like to try to close the vent. Two, how are you doing? Do you need a short rest?
I'm doing terribly. I'm bleeding from all of my orc limbs. And
I know
in real bad shape.
Cost you that spell. You just said it lasts an hour, but I don't need a rest at this point. However, I want to investigate the forge or smelter, whatever this place is.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to take a short rest, I didn't get hit, and I didn't use anything that comes back on a short rest. So if you want to take a short rest, I would like to start digging through the forge. I'm looking for
It's not technically
oil.
a forge.
Smelter. I know. I keep trying to. You got it stuck in my head. I'm gonna look at the smelter.
Okay. And what are you looking for? Anything in particular?
Oil. Any. I don't know what you said. It's probably scrap, but they're dwarves, so scrap for them is not necessarily the same as scrap for everybody else.
Okay.
So I would like weapons, or like even mundane weapons. I would be interested in. I have my multi-tool, but I could probably use it more. I'm obsessed with tools, so I'll probably grab some tools just more because I do.
Okay.
I said oil, but I'm gonna look for it anyways.
All right. So go ahead and give me an investigation check. And I assume Bando is tending to his wounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That will end your spell because a short rest is an hour. So.
Okay.
That is a 15.
All right. So as you are rifling around, you find a couple different things. You find a big trough full of a thick oil, maybe a quenching oil. You're not sure. You would have to. Do you have?
An artificer. I know
Yes.
about oils.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say, why would you do that? You're an artificer.
I also have in my bag of holding extra jars and flasks and things.
Yep.
So I would like some of those.
So, what you can do is, let me check something really quick.
Acids, salts,
give me a, what utensils, or what, tools do you have? Is there artificer tools or something?
So I have artificer tools, which are, I have thieves tools, it's thieves tools and tinker tools.
Okay. Awesome.
Apparently I don't have smith's tools, but I'm proficient with them, so that's kind of one of the things I was looking for. I mean, my multi-tool turns into anything, but part of me kind of wants a set of mundanes just because.
Okay.
And I have a bag of holding.
I would say you can find some disrepair smith tools. Now, what I want you to do is you are in a very good environment to potentially create something with this oil. You realize that it has this if treated right, this oil can thicken into a gelatinous trying to figure out how to describe this. This kind of gelatinous reinforced material that can create a razor sharp edge. So, what tool proficiencies does Abando have? Anything at all?
Thieves tools.
What's that?
Like a honing oil?
Yes.
Abando just has thieves tools.
Okay. So you notice a couple things. You might be able to utilize the heat from the lava to and mix with your chemicals a alchemic mixture called an oil of sharpness, allowing you to bring a blade temporarily to a pristine, almost microscopic cut. So what I'm gonna need is you to give me a tool check with your alchemist tools, of artificer tools. I keep forgetting.
Yeah. My all-purpose tool can be turned into an artisan tool of my choice,
Okay. So alchemy
which
tool.
I become proficient with.
Okay. So alchemy tool would be the one you would want at this point.
All right. So is it you basically like intelligence plus proficiency?
Yes.
19.
All right. So you kind of wave over a bando and you kind of explain, hey, I think there's something special with this and we've got what we need to do it. But it's going to take probably another hour or two. But the result will be worth it. So I'm going to take your role into consideration. Is that what you guys want to do right now?
And this is a second hour after, or in addition to the, yeah, I think we can spare an hour. Hopefully, we don't find their minutes after they've got through
Well,
the
I was
other
gonna say
passage again,
that's less of an issue now that the guy already died. But I put that there I put the opportunity for something here, thinking, well, if the guy's dying, then maybe they won't do it right away. But all right, so with your 19, you kind of wave over a bando, and you kind of have him being your assistant. You know, grab this, do that, hold this, you know, that sort of thing. As you are doing this complex mixture, your little tool kind of like a little tiny transformer turns into this contraption. You pour some of the liquid in it, you hook a vial up, and you hover it right over top of the heated lava, and you have to adjust it a little bit. You got a little scope thing that comes down. Oh, that's a little hot. I need to lower it up a little bit, get it away. And you're kind of finding the right spot. You're kind of nudging a bando because he doesn't get it quite right. And he's like, you got to hold it there perfectly. You can't be adjusting it. You're throwing off my temperatures. Get all upset about it. But near the end of it, you're managed to get a vial and several good, a nice good quantity of this oil of sharpness. What that means, as this clear gelatinous oil sparkles with tiny ultra-thin silver shards. The oil can coat one slashing or piercing weapon or up to 5 pieces of slashing or piercing ammunition. Applying the oil takes 1 minute. For 1 hour, the coated weapon is magical and deals +3 to attack and damage. Now, you've got a vial for 1 use. You think that if you can run it just right for another hour, you might be able to get it for 2 doses. The question is do you want to take that risk? You can double it.
will settle for 1 because I do think we probably need to get moving on this vent.
Okay.
It hurts me there and as a character to not go for all the magic things, because this stuff would be right up his alley of tinkering.
Yeah, and it also comes with a risk, right? You might end up overcooking it and burning it and losing both. So,
yeah, okay.
There's definitely a risk. Yeah.
Yes, I am, but still.
All right, so
I'm not a gambler. Shock probably is. I'm not still not gonna do it. We need to go to the vet.
So you're able to fill up a couple of canteens of some regular oil. You guys managed to get your 3 new canteens of water to drink, or whatever that shit is that's in the orcs' canteens. You do find a couple of smithing tools, even though they're kind of worn out. But shame on the dwarves for allowing that of their tools. And you do actually find a couple rations and everything. And in addition to that, while you're doing kind of your crafting thing, Abando does take a moment to kind of snoop around a little bit, picking through other pockets. So Abando, give me one more investigation check.
16.
So while he's doing his own thing, you kind of poke around a little bit, and you do find a small little dark red vial that looks like a healing potion. So a potion of healing that you've got there.
Sweet.
All right, so you guys pack up and you start heading your way back through the twisted caverns. Once again, it's a tight fit. Your armor's getting all. Yep, go ahead.
I wanted to grab the dwarf that died, the note and everything. if he had like a holy symbol or any sort of maybe identifier.
I think I mentioned when Abando was looting through them, he did find a couple different Moradin trinkets and symbols and stuff that he was carrying on his person.
Okay. Something that maybe if we need to give to and respect for the dead and all that.
For sure. So at this moment, you've got to find these vents. You're not exactly sure where they're at, so you kind of need to kind of make your way through. So why don't you go ahead?
As I say, so vents make me think of the airflow, breathing sound we heard. So I would guess probably in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the direction you guys are gonna go?
Yeah.
I think that's probably it.
And Bando's gonna take the high road again.
I'm no. I think I'm sneaky. That's a 7. I'm sorry, that's 8. 8 plus 2.
That's funny.
I think I'm sneaky. I'm trying. It worked against the orcs.
You're doing great, Shockwave.
Clunk, 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 clunk. I'm almost there. It's fine. We'll be okay. I'm looking for something. Hang on.
Shockwave, do you have any healing items at all?
I don't.
In that case, I would be happy to give you the potion of healing. To hang on to, if you want.
For now, I'm comfortable. If you want to hold on to it.
Okay. Cool.
Just because, given our recent encounters, you've been the one who got more beat up. Although you kind of brought that on yourself. But right now I'm in good shape, and I'm totally gonna trust you. For some reason, that you would, run away and leave me to die. I'm not saying I make a good judge of character by any means, but that's my.
Abando says, "I would never leave you behind."
That's funny. You guys crack me up. All right, so you guys begin making your way through towards this this breathing noise. You kind of go through your twisting patterns, kind of all in and out. It's kind of everywhere, but you can actually feel that it's starting. The travel is starting to go up. Why don't you go ahead and give me a survival check, please?
12. Oh wait, no, that's 15.
That's 3. That's a 3.
All right, Abando, you come to this kind of intersection, and I say intersection very loosely. It's basically an abnormal split in the crevice that you're traveling in. It's starting to widen quite a bit, and one part starts to go up towards open up almost to where you would almost have to climb up to get through it. And then one kind of passes to the right. As you kind of listen closely, you kind of nudge Shockwave to stop moving so you can listen. His armor and stuff is getting kind of obnoxious. You kind of sit there for a second and you lead. You can hear the howling of the wind coming from this sort of one that climbs up. While you can't see any light, you suspect that might open up to air at some point. You can just feel a slight, just ever so slight coolness coming from it. And then to and kind of down and to the right, the cavern kind of goes that direction, and you can hear the echoing of this deep breathing. You're definitely getting closer and closer. The heat's really getting to you. At this point, you guys have drank half of one canteen. I think I said there was 3, right? Should have been 4, one for each of the orcs. So you've each drank half of a canteen. To make it easy for me, I'm just gonna say you drank 1, and that'll just make it easier. And you're close. You can feel it getting the breathing as you get closer, very Darth Vader like. And you're starting to feel a little bit of a tremor inside these crevices. Pebbles and stuff are falling from above, kind of clinking on your armor and on your head. and you get to an area where it begins to open up. Very quickly, it goes from being a very typed, cramped space to a much longer, a much wider area, to a point that you guys can easily walk shoulder to shoulder abreast without an issue. And it continues to get wider and wider, and it's still kind of twisting and turning and going up and down a little bit, but your overall direction seems to be down. And you come to it kind of breaks away like a big V and opens up into this massive cavern. And about 80 feet away, curled up in a big circle, is this massive golden looking beast. It's got it's, you know, kind of like a cat laying on its head's laying down on its hands. Its wings are wrapped around itself in its massive neck with its pulled back skull. You see a big golden looking dragon just kind of laying there, and you can tell that the deep breath is coming in and out of this thing, and all around and all around the area you see dozens of remains of creatures of all varieties. Not only are there orcs just kind of floating around, or laying around, I guess, in bits and pieces, but you also spot several people that you recognize that were at the Elder Council's meeting. They look like adventurers that have come this way and unfortunately met with an untimely demise. On the other side of the dragon, besides this massive wealth of gold and jewels, and you can see, you know, pristine blades sticking out of it, a big giant open chest that's overflowing with jewels, glistening as its tail wiggles back and forth, slamming into the change, kind of making a slight scraping noise of, you know, the coin on coin. And its eyes are dimmed closed, and it's just that breathing just continues. I do need a wisdom saving throw from both of you from its frightful presence.
No.
So I have a -1 on that, and I rolled a 1, so straight 0.
I got a 5. Not gonna help me either. I am gonna shit myself. No. I feel like I'm going
Hope
to.
you wore your brown pants today.
I feel confident that this pass is closed to the orcs, and therefore not our problem. So I vote for not going this way.
Yep.
And we're gonna call this direction sealed.
Are you guys going to leave?
Yes.
And so as you're leaving, you hear a deep, like, rumbling chuckle. You are the smartest ones to enter this chamber in a long time. Wisdom is above orcs and the greedy. And that's all it says.
Day.
Definitely not an orc. Definitely not an orc.
And you guys start pushing your way back through the twisted cavern. How is your characters feeling right now? What do they think about what just happened?
I'm glad it let us leave.
Bando is not entirely convinced that we can leave all that treasure behind, but
the big dragon did say
torn.
Did say not a place for orcs and greedy, right?
Right. Yeah.
I feel like this is something that could be reported. And if the dwarves want to make it their business, that's fine. But this pass is closed to the orcs, and that's good enough for me. I think this should be reported.
Now, Shockwave, friend, we don't know that this dragon is our enemy. We know that it's the orc's enemy, and we know that it doesn't like the greedy. Perhaps
I have
we
been
could
blown
convince
up.
it to help us.
I have
Or
been
we
blown
could
up
convince it that we'll help it.
enough times to know that I don't want to.
That's funny.
And there is a limit to how much I am willing to blow myself up and set myself on fire. And while I may not have reached that limit for my remainder of my life, I feel like if I go in there, I will have reached the limit of setting myself on fire for the rest of my life. That
it's a good
foe
point.
is beyond us and well outside the scope of our mission. And I'm excited to have seen a dragon. That is definitely something I can mark off my list. But I saw it, and I'm leaving.
But imagine the story if you were friends with a dragon. Better than just seeing one.
Shit, that's
I
funny.
don't believe that will happen.
At this point, you guys have been kind of making your way through here quite a bit. Unfortunately, Abando is not able to convince Shockwave, but Abando does make note to return at some point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
he definitely
where it's
marks
at,
the
you're fine.
location of this section of the cave.
Yeah, you know, dragons aren't in the habit of moving often. All right, so with that, you guys make it back to the split where part of the area starts to go up into the what you presumably, based on the little bit of fresh air that's coming through, to the surface. So that is a potential direction. You can make your way till you get back to where you made the split before and head back towards the sulfur, or you can go back all the way you came. Or investigate to see if there's any paths that you may have missed along the way. It is very complex and it is difficult to keep track. Unless you've got a power that lets you do that, and I do think there's one out there that does that.
There are some, but it's not one I...
No.
I don't have anything like that.
Alright, so those are kind of the options. Return all the way back to the monastery. Look for another path. Go through the ooze, or go up to the area that appears to lead to the surface. Feel free to give me intelligence checks.
There's another pass to the surface?
So during this travel, when you were going down this tunnel, one of the things that I described to Abando is that there was a slight split, and one seemed to kind of go up with a light, just ever so slightly fresh air or breeze coming through it. And hey, neat encounter with a dragon that doesn't blow up or catch fire. Thanks for that, Zulandi. So I described that there was a path that looks like it started to go more towards the surface. So that basically makes that an open path to you. You can investigate for another path, or you can return the way you came back through the monastery and continue looking for the vents elsewhere, or you can head down either of the paths that previously went to the sulfur smell. Those are kind of your options right now.
I thought I guess when we were in descriptions, I must have missed it. And
well, yeah, that was when I asked both of you, and I think you got low roll, and I don't know if that you just turned it off, because I think I described that. Was that right, Abando?
I've also
Okay.
had often on COVID brain too. So
yeah. No, so that is one of the ways that's available to you. But I'm gonna leave that to you guys.
That would be if we do that, that could be another access. It could be the vent if the dragon pass was not the vent. So I'd prefer to. Plus, I don't know that anything benefits us to go all the way back to the monastery. If this gets us to the surface, closer to Outlook, Overwatch, whatever the city.
Yeah.
And we can see where that gets us out too.
Yeah, Bando says, "Oh, thank goodness, because I don't want to be down in this dark cave for another minute. Let's go up."
Okay.
All right.
We're gonna try for that other path up.
All right. So you guys start making your way through, and as you're climbing, you can feel the the air is getting fresher the more you climb, but the more you climb, the steeper it gets. So you're kind of climbing up this kind of very tall tunnel, and you really gotta grab. So I'm gonna need an athletics check from both of you for climbing.
Oh, I don't. I have my slippers.
Oh yeah, you just walk. Well, yeah, okay.
I have my climbing stuff, the pitons and hammer. Is
That
that
gives you an
something
advantage.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not so cramped that you can't utilize tools and stuff.
Okay.
And I'll drop my rope down to help.
Right. That's double 17s.
All right, so you got
14, 17.
Abando's feet just kind of stick to the inside of this cave, and it's kind of annoying to you because he's being so careless. All the rubble is just kind of just clunking you in the head behind him, and you're just kind of like, ugh. But you got your pittons, you're climbing up. He's pulling a rope, so you got all kinds of little gizmos and gadgets to kind of help you get through. But you notice the higher you go up, the smaller it gets, and so now at this point it's like crawling through, but you can actually start to see light at the end of the tunnel. There's just a tiny problem. The hole is about as big as your head as you get to it, so you can see outside now. You can see the clouds or fog or smoke or something. You can't really tell through here, but you've reached the top, and it's a very tight fit that under normal circumstances you probably can't make it through it.
Can I tell how deep it is?
Oh yeah, it's probably like 2 feet. You can't. It's not so. You could probably stick your whole arm through it and reach the surface.
Okay. And I, using my pitons, I would like to. Here's what. Okay. The engineer this shit. Because what I'd like to do is get up to the top, and I want to anchor myself close to the hole. Using pitons, I have a length of chain, and by doing the thing where I punch a hole into the mountain, set the piton, ending to reseal the hole around the piton. I want to create a stable platform of chain and rope under me, brace myself at the bottom of this hole. I want to reach into my bag of holding and grab the miner's pick that I picked, because when I have a bag of holding, I sit there and I just take every item on the menu.
Because why not? Love it.
And I'm gonna see if I can't make the hole bigger. I don't actually know what the miner's pick does.
Well, I would say it does exactly this.
Mechanically.
But
I would like to take some time and punch a hole and make the hole bigger.
Yep.
And then use the anchors and stuff to keep them falling.
In the meantime, what is Abando doing?
So Abando had a worse idea that probably wouldn't have worked, but I was gonna. Abando was gonna try to take out the portable hole and reach his arm through, and see if there's like a way he could create a tunnel, like a tunnel he could just climb through. But seeing that Shockwave is about to do something smart and practical, he's gonna just put the hole away and not give it a try.
I was just imagining like you're uncomfortable, so you just put the hole on the side and create your own little sitting area while he's sitting there working.
Yeah, I take out like a book and start reading. Yeah.
Because it wouldn't work the way you were saying, but you could totally open it up on the side of this cramped space and create an instant room and sit cozy while you read a book while he's hammering away.
In early editions, the portable hole was like a Bugs Bunny tunnel where you just threw it on a wall and walked through.
Yeah.
That would be great right now. But it isn't.
Yeah. So I'm gonna need go ahead and give me an athletics check with advantage there, Shockwave.
16.
All right, so you're hammering away at this, and it's coming along, but it definitely takes a lot of time. You spend a good probably hour trying to dig your way out, and in the meantime, does Abando finish his book?
Like he finishes a chapter, he gets to a good stopping point.
Okay, so you do finally break through enough room for you to kind of squeeze out, I guess.
I will say he is bothered by all the noise that Shockwave is making. It's making it hard to concentrate on the
I
room.
had a backup plan. I'm glad I didn't have to use it. 'Cause I also have gunpowder.
I was wondering if you were going to try doing that.
I thought about it. I was like, you know what? Let's see if we can't brute force this one a little bit. Because I have a powder horn, and that shit's expensive. And
That's funny.
yeah.
That's really cool. I like that.
So.
Hang on a second. I'm looking for some. All right. All right. So as you kind of puff, you finally push your way out. You pull your body out, and you look around, and you've made it to the surface. You're in some sort of like indentation, like almost like a crater, and you see hundreds of these giant like brownish eggs that have like little green spots all over them, and there's these really strange jagged piercing boulders just all around in here. As you kind of look out, it's a very strange sight. Give me nature checks, please. Sorry, these would be arcana checks.
Like, do we see sky at all?
You do, yeah. You're out. You're outside the surf. You've made it to the top of this mountain area, but you're in some sort of like crevice, and there's these big round eggs and these boulders with very jagged, sharp spines or something on them.
I want to say Arcana is my thing. I am trained in it, and I rolled a 2. I have a 7.
Can't know everything.
So it's not mechanical enough for me.
Too much focus on the
got a
mechanical.
16.
All right, Abando, you instantly realize what as Shockwave busts through and he kind of points the stuff out, saying, "Hey, some weird looking rocks over there." You realize that you've just come into like a nest of an ankeg. These insectoid creatures that are all curled up right now and are resting or hibernating or something. Maybe they're just sleeping, you're not sure, but you're in this massive nest of them. And you see what you thought was the big boulder is 4 of these ankegs and dozens of eggs. But
I have a thought.
in the distance, scattered across, as you look over, you can see scattered across the lower slopes are numerous steaming fissures. Some as small and tiny cracks in the stone, with others large enough to accommodate something like an ogre. The rocks here are, the rocks you see are kind of, they look moist, and you instantly start to see that maybe that off in the distance that you see might be where the vents are coming out, or might be why they call it the vents. So you might be getting close, but it looks like it's a little bit of a hike. Yeah, I know you too, Z. Whoop whoop. Whoa. Anyways, so you've got a couple options. What were you gonna say now? I finished my description.
I don't know if Shockwave was gonna say something, but I think Abando would.
I forgot it.
I think Abando would turn to Shockwave and say, "I've changed my mind about being on the surface."
I kind of am too. Part of me's like, we could seal this up and go back down below. But you said we see like steam vents in the distance?
You can see the vents in the distance.
So, because I think between the rocks and everything else here, I could probably mending that hole back shut, maybe. It would take a few rounds and some time because I can do up to 1 foot at a time. I'd have to gather boulders or whatever. In the meantime, we're in an ankeg nest. And I don't want to be in an ankeg nest.
We agree on that, my friend. We agree.
Give me stealth checks.
Oh shit.
20.
I can see the look of horror on his face. He's like, I don't want to roll.
That's not bad. I got a 15, 18.
Not bad.
Plus 2, so I got 17.
Okay, so you guys are kind of doing this hush hush thing. It looks like they might just be sleeping. You might be able to just walk by them. Or you can seal up the area and go back the way you came. Both are feasible options.
I also don't really want to leave the hole, if But on the other hand, what are the chances that an orc army is gonna climb up through this hole through an egghead nest? It's not nearly as secure as a dragon cave, and a sufficient number of orcs could deal with it.
That's true.
Expensively. The two of us can't deal with egghead nest.
No. 4 of them might be a bit too much for you. Plus, there's no telling when those little ones will hatch. They're pretty big.
However, I also feel like there'd be no point to sealing up holes in the ground if eggheads are around. They just make new holes. Burrowing bugs and all that.
Well, now you're starting to, and your characters are starting to put together why there's so many strange, different crevices and everything everywhere.
Which still leaves us with, do we try to make for the vents? I have nothing to sneak. I have luck. And I don't want to count on that when I have disadvantage.
Yeah. I mean, I could definitely sneak over there, but I don't want to be on the opposite side of these things by myself. Seems like a bad idea to split up when there's just 2 of us. It's always a bad idea to split up, but especially when there's just 2 of us.
All right, let's go back down the hole.
Yeah.
You just spent an hour digging yourself out.
I know.
But we've learned something.
That's true.
Yes.
So, and also you got a general direction too, of where you need to go.
True. We could try to go back down and see if we can't work our way to the vent area from below.
Yeah.
So is that the?
I don't want to deal with those oozes, but yeah, we get.
I know that's the other thought. Is what if it's through the ooze area?
But at least we know where they are.
Yeah, and that's why I said there are other paths that you can take. So if you don't want to go the ooze, you can look for more. It just might mean you run into something else. That's just you're in this massive mountain that is like a mountain range that basically divides these 2 regions. And you're making your way, towards the north where the vents are. It's just hard when you're underground and you've got a number of directions to go. Which way do you go, all right, so that is the plan. You're going to just be like, no, screw this. You're going to close it back up and make your way back down.
Yep, and from below, I don't know, stick some rocks up there, try to mend it, make it small again. Maybe not seal it, but see if I can't make it smaller again.
All right, I think that's great. You kind of mend it back up, put it back together. You guys start making your way back down.
Hey, going down, I can collect my pitons I used on the way up.
That's true. Do you guys want to take a minute for a bathroom break?
Sure. Yes.
Yes, because I have to pee and I need a drink. So
I need a drink. I didn't bring one down here.
We are going to 5 minutes. Sound good?
Okay.
We're going to be back in 5 minutes. All right, we're back here. Thank you guys for your patience. I've got my water. Looks like somebody else got some food. So we actually had a question or a request from Zulandi. Asked if I could reintroduce my guests, which I actually didn't do this episode. Lou, would you like to tell us who you are, who you're playing, a little bit about maybe one or two facts about your character? Turn your mic on, please.
Yes, I'm playing a Bando Tratorius. A Bando is a rogue. And where is my... No, I wrote a whole description of him. Now I can't find it.
That's okay.
But
Wing
he...
it.
Yeah. Okay, yes. He grew up in a small village inside of Baldur's Gate. Worked for the Mercenaries for Hire organization for a short time before being recruited by the Zentarim, but is currently unemployed, and he's a very trusty pal to all.
That doesn't sound like somebody that works for the Zentarim or Zentarum or whatever it's called. That's an evil organization, isn't it? Are you acting right now? Acting the role of the good guy? What about you, Troy?
I am playing Alston Shock, also known as Shockwave. He is a human artificer raised by mountain gnomes, and he is kind of out exploring to see the world because, unlike gnomes that raised him, he has a very short life, and like the gnomes, he wants to see and do everything. Unfortunately, things explode around him a lot, so he wound up just kind of enlisting his services to any government or agency that he can help, that will then show leniency if he accidentally blows up a barracks or other small outposts during his experiment. So it's a balancing act. So he's worked with militaries. That's kind of how he found his way out here, getting in the dwarves' good graces. Mountains blow up too.
That's funny. All right, so you guys are making your way back down into the very tight quarters of this underground passage, which you now believe is the result of ankegs in the area that have just kind of made their way through these and created these kind of complex kind of pathways. And you're making your way back down, and why don't you guys go ahead and give me some survival checks as you're trying to make your way through this harsh environment.
5.
It's one of those days.
That moment where you gotta pick money. Oh, fuck. 3. Not that D20. Over there. He likes you.
Oh shit!
I don't know what I'm doing.
So, excuse me.
Is invent a compass.
So you guys start kind of making your way through. You kind of got an idea which direction you gotta go. So you kind of twisting through the caverns. You come to this very strange, massive opening that's kind of pinned up against a wall. And as it opens up, you've got kind of this massive kind of canyon, I guess, kind of that opens up. Canyon's not the right word. Maybe. An abyss. This kind of big, giant abyss that opens up into nothing but darkness. There's a tiny little edge, but it's not big enough for your feet. But the entire width of this entire twisting kind of area along the wall is heading in the direction you want to go. But in order to cross it, you're probably going to... Well, a bando can just walk. Damn it. I hate spider shoes. But it looks like you're going to have to use your pittance or kind of hang from the edge and kind of crawl little bit by little bit. But the fact that you can't see the bottom is kind of disheartening. The whole area is kind of lit by like a glowing lichen at this point. So wherever I know we haven't actually talked about it, but I think somebody had the light spell or a torch out. I think you guys were carrying a torch previously.
No, he has. I have dark vision goggles,
Oh, and then
and
Bando
then he has.
actually
I just have dark
has
vision.
All right, so you guys are making it, and the area is glowing by dim light caused by this kind of glowing blue, light blue kind of lichen. That makes this abyss just look like endless, but at least the area is going the way you want. So, what is your? Give me perception checks.
18.
10.
So as a bando walks up and he's just kind of standing on the side of the wall. Woo! Glad I got these shoes now. But at the same time, Shockwave, you're kind of piercing the depth. You got your dark vision, night vision goggle things, and you're looking around, and you can just see massive strings of webbing above you and off on the other side. Down into the cavern, you can see kind of it like creating like cradles and everything, and you can see dozens and dozens of spiders and stuff that appear to be kind of just skittering about on the webbing. And as you look across, about halfway across, webbing starts to kind of block your path. But this is going the direction you want. So you can try to cross this. You can turn by, look for another direction, or you can go back to the area where you smelled the sulfur with the oozes. I'm just giving you guys all kinds of different options, aren't I?
I know.
So far, only one filled with shiny jewels and treasure.
You could have asked about it.
I actually, Bando is thinking about, cannot get that out of his mind, and is thinking more and more about wanting to go back and try to talk to the dragon.
Shockwave's like, fuck that.
I don't think he's successful at convincing Shockwave, but
Well, you got to also remember your character did fail the frightful presence, which means your character was terrified, whether what the thing said seemed not mean or anything at all. Its presence in and of itself is just a terrifying experience. So I guess the question is what is the plan? Once again, you can go back the way the sulfur, you can go back the exit out through the monastery, or you can try going this direction or seek out a different path.
We're pretty confident.
I need constant. You guys, we're gonna say an hour. You searched for an hour, so you've lost another. So now you're down to 2, 3. Wait. Yeah, you're down to two tins of water now. Which basically it's about every 4 to 6 hours you need to drink in the heat, because the closer you get to the center, the hotter it gets. Right now it's very uncomfortable, but it's not like it was when you were near the gaining in on like the lava. And it's not a forge, Justin. The smelting room. His kids look so adorable.
Apparently nobody's falling asleep and everybody's cranky. I'm like, all right, fine. There's a real comfy blanket right there on that couch, so he's just gonna lay down.
So what is the plan, guys?
We're confident that this spider web death trap is the direction of the vents, as far as our rolls suggested.
Yeah, you guys believe 100% it's the right direction. I know he hates when I say shit like that.
No, I believe you. I don't remember what I rolled anyway, so I don't know. I think it's right.
Yeah, sounds good. Question is whether that's the path you want to take.
You can just walk, so it's really a matter of how I'm crossing it. I can cross with the... How long would it take to walk across the whole thing?
About 2 hours. It's pretty big. Oh,
Oh,
wait. Well,
okay.
you
Well,
as your character would not know that, but I'm telling you as
I mean,
the player.
okay. I just mean like this little tiny path that I gotta walk. It's not like...
No, it's long.
No.
It's a big. I mean, this is basically an entire like spider underground thing.
And I would have to mountain climb the whole way.
Yeah.
I don't have that many pitons.
I would only require a couple checks for that too. We're not going to sit and do it for hours, but there's alternatives too because he can walk. You can leverage that, right?
Yeah, part of me is like I could climb in his portable hole and he could just walk us there, but I can only breathe for 10 minutes in that hole. I got 10 minutes worth of air. So if it's going to be a 2-hour walk, I don't know, the awkwardness of like opening it up and without accidentally flinging me off the cliff. And then if you do get attacked by if you do get attacked by spiders or something while we're doing this, I would have no idea until you opened up the thing. And again, you have to open it up in such a way that it didn't drop me. Now I have feather fall, but that's still not something I want. Like, I have 2 castings of it, and then I will be tapped. So
I'm not doing too hot on options either.
Give me intelligence
yeah,
checks.
You take one boot,
okay,
and I take one boot.
You know, that's not that's not the worst idea. Like a 3-legged race kind of thing. You like tie our middle leg.
It's even better. That's not what I was thinking, but that is an even better one.
I'll tell you what. If you guys totally decided you wanted to do that, I would allow that on one condition. You wouldn't be able to fight practically. So you would have disadvantage on everything. But I totally am willing to allow that because I am benevolent. What was your intelligence checks?
Oh, intelligence is... Ooh, yeah. Plus
16.
22.
All right, so the two of you are kind of brainstorming different ideas, and one of interest that pops up is maybe consider tying a rope off of on a bando's, stomach, and while you're tying the other end off to yourself there, Shockwave, you can move your pittons, and you can pick up your pittons as you go, so you have plenty to get across, and a bando is there to hold you while you kind of retrieve them and go one at a time that way. Obviously, it leaves you in an awkward position if you are to be attacked, but it's a way that you could do that in a relative safe manner, unless you guys got something else.
Yeah, I thought about the whole tying a rope to him, actually, but I'm also worried that if something goes wrong, he's got a strength test and check, and I don't think he's very physically capable of holding me.
No.
How about the other way around?
I'm not super heavy, but I don't know. I'm +1 to strength. I think he's +0, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
How about the other way around?
But I am trained in athletics.
Do those
Do those boots require attunement?
They do, yeah.
If only that wasn't like bind on equip.
I mean, we could take an hour and switch them. But
It's gonna spend more water though, right?
Somebody's catching on.
A bando wants to do one of two things, which is one wants to go back to try to find more of the people from the town, or like maybe try to link up with some more people and tell them what we've discovered so far, or real worse idea, go back and try to talk to the gold dragon and convince it that we could like work for it and do something for it.
I'm not going back to the dragon.
Okay.
That's not okay. I'm not totally against just going back through the monastery, going back to the town, and reporting everything. But a part of me also feels like I have this very urgent message that said we need to close passages before the orcs get there. We sort of, one was closed for sure. I'm hoping that was the second one. But I'm trying to remember how it phrased it. Fence was the next thing, and I'm worried that if we just go all the way back to the monastery and then back overland, that's gonna let orcs through whatever these vents are, just through.
So, I will tell you up front, you saw the corpses of the people that were there. They were not assigned to the vents. So there is some hope there, but not enough to say for sure. So there's a gamble there, right? The other group might be okay and might still be working on it. Or they may need backup, or they may be dead. And therein lies the problem, right? How do you prioritize? It's a sticky situation. Get it? Because of the spiders? But okay. I thought it was a good one. You guys got some good points. You just got to come to a decision.
I think we should try to cross this ravine. Cliff, really. And the reason I'm thinking that is, you walk on walls, so unless something just totally grabs you and flings you off, you'll probably be all right. I do have Featherfall. It would possibly, I don't know what's at the bottom of this canyon crevice thingy, but it could be hypothetically possible to, if shit goes down and I fall, just cross the bottom of the ravine and see if we can't get back up.
I can see, what's my dark vision? 30 feet or 60 feet, maybe?
Probably 60, same as mine.
Can I see the bottom?
Nope.
From where I am? No.
Even if you could, it would be really hard because about 50 feet down, that's when the webs really start to thicken up and form like a cradle. So it's hard to see through them. So
yeah, that'd be the other thing is if I fall,
they'll catch you.
Honestly, if I fell, I would probably burn my way through the webs and take my chances with gravity.
I'm notorious with spiders, I think.
I know.
Yeah.
I love the little bastards.
Except the last time I did it, I was 7. And I didn't taste good. So, yeah, I would rather take my chances going across.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds like that's the decision.
Yes, and Abando has a medium to bad idea this time.
He's got a scale.
Well, I doubt this will result in anything bad, but what I'm going to do is wall crossing as best I can, try to maintain a minor illusion of it's an object, not a creature, I guess. Could it be like a could I make like a non-moving creature looking thing with it?
I would say so. I mean, it doesn't move or anything, but you could certainly do that within a 5-foot square, I think, or 5-foot cube, I think.
5-foot cube. Yeah, I want to try to create something that would look tasty to a spider, like a giant fly or something.
Okay.
And just sort of like maintain that, like at a full 30-foot distance away from us.
Is it making any noise or?
I think I can do a sound or an image.
Not both.
So I don't think I can do both.
Okay. All right. So, are you guys? So, how are you guys crossing? Are you tying off a rope to a bando?
Yeah.
I like that plan.
All right. So you guys, you get some of that hempen rope from your bag, you tie it around a bando. He just kind of Spider-Man sticks to the wall. It's a very strange vantage point, but Bando, you're getting used to it. Now, instead of the ground looking like it's got a bunch of spider webs, it looks like the wall has a bunch of spider webs. You attach it around Shockwave, and Shockwave, you start using your pittons to cross, correct?
Yep.
And of course, as soon as you hit him in there, thud, 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 and you can hear the echo through the entire chamber. And the whole webbing begins to kind of tremble and move. You guys start making your way across. Give me athletics check, please, with advantage. Shockwave.
That is a total of 20.
So you're kind of getting into it. But the farther you go, the more skittering you can hear. The kind of just going all before you and below you, and it begins to echo off the chamber walls, and it just sounds immediate like you're just surrounded with thousands of these clickering little skittering, clicking noises. When you look down, you can see just thousands of little beady eyes reflecting the little bit of lichen light that is filling the room off of, all their little arachnid little beady eyes. And you start making your way across, and you make some good progress. They don't seem to be doing much to you. Then give me a perception check, please, both of you.
13.
Okay. So during this kind of process, Bando, you're kind of paying close attention to kind of what's going on, and you pick up a zzz noise, this kind of buzzing noise, and you look behind you because you're looking down, right? Because you're on the side. So you look behind you and up. Normal up. God, this is getting confusing. Normal up. There is 3 or 4 of these strange looking tiny little insect-like creatures with these long snouts and little furry heads and very bat-like skin wings. Why don't you go ahead and give me, both of you give me a nature check.
A nature check so you can tell me it's a sturge. 16.
Nature, I have +3, 14.
Yes, this horrid flying creature is a cross between a large bat and an oversized mosquito. You've seen them before with their sharp little pincers and their long needle-like proboscis. I don't know what that little nose thing's called. And they are definitely sturges, creatures that feed on blood. And they begin, all 4 of them kind of just swarm down and attempt to attack you guys. So I'm going to need an initiative roll.
It's 19.
22.
All right. And because Bando spotted them, they're not going to get any surprise or anything like that. All right, so Bando, these things are kind of swarming down. 2 of them towards you, another couple of them, a duo heading towards Shockwave. What are you going to do?
Are they just ignoring my illusion of giant juicy fly?
They are. But when you look back at your illusion, you do see several spiders scattering, kind of clamoring towards them. So you've drawn the spiders, but not the blood drinkers.
Do spiders have blood? Huh.
Yes.
They do.
Well, sort of.
But
Okay. I'm going to attack them. Not the spiders.
so they're floating about a short distance away as they're heading towards you, which is about 30 feet, which is behind you but above Shockwave.
Okay. I'm going to use Chill Touch.
Okay.
Range spell attack, so 19
Yes.
to hit. All right. 1d8 is 4. 4 necrotic damage.
That's the one that forms the little hand, right?
Yeah.
So
Ghostly skeletal hand.
this little ghostly skeletal hand reaches over to grab this thing, and you can hear a tss from the chill touch, and then it just and squishes the thing like the bug that it is. And one of them is down. What are you gonna do? Anything else?
What, how much
Gonna
damage
just-
do to it?
4. No, that's all I'm gonna do. Just I'm gonna warn Shockwave about them if he hasn't seen them yet.
Yep. Shockwave, you're up.
Okay, there's 3 left.
Yep.
How far away are they? 30 feet?
30
15 feet?
They're 15 to 20 feet.
Are they
Within range of you. They're, yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Are
Are they within a 15-foot cone?
2 of them are, yes. I figured that's where you were going. You might be able to catch 2 of them.
I feel like I'm concerned I'm going to be up a lot on the for 4 Sturges. What? I'm not going to summon my Eldritch Cannon yet. I'm going to go ahead and stick with... I'm going to draw my pistol and shoot at one.
Mm-hmm.
Miss horribly with a 7. But then my homunculus is going to take a bonus action shot at one. He's going to have a 19 to hit. It's for 6 force damage.
Yep. With a loud... It nearly explodes. Little chunks of blood just kind of splatter everywhere out of this creature. 2 left.
And that's my action and my bonus action.
All right. So as you're basically just kind of hanging there from a rope in your pittance, you pull out, you take a blast, you quickly disintegrate the one. Its blood kind of splatters. The other 2 start zooming in, and each one's going to attack each of you. One is gonna go at Shockwave for an 11, and a 17 for.
17 hits because I don't have my shield on.
No, the other one hit Shockwave first, which I think was a miss. The 17 is for Abando.
Oh, okay.
That's it. That's a hit.
Yeah. I'm gonna need a Constitution saving throw from you. DC's 12.
Oof, 4.
Oh no. So I have a rules question for my rules lawyer in the room. If you get hit with a power that paralyzes you while you're standing on the side of a wall, do you have to be conscious for your magic boots to work?
Are they slippers of spider climbing?
They are. I want to say yes. No, you don't have to be conscious. But I'm very curious. Because basically, they have a poison that paralyzes you. So,
It's not putting me to sleep, though, right?
no, it paralyzes you, whichever the details for paralyze.
I would think it would freeze him in place standing on the wall. I think if it put him to sleep, it might just... Because he would go... If it put him to sleep, he would go limp.
Yeah.
But because he's, like, locked in place, and he would remain standing if he was on the ground.
Yeah.
So he would remain standing on the horizontal surfaces.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to... I think that's how we'll rule it. Because it basically just... A paralyzed creature is incapacitated and can't move or speak. But I would say that's the way we'll rule it. So you are paralyzed, and you take 5 points of piercing damage. Did I read that right? Let me go back and open that. Yeah, 5 points of piercing damage. And it latches onto you.
Gross.
Now, on each of its turns, it doesn't have to make an attack roll to do damage now. It just latches onto you. All right, top of the initiative at this point. So what I'm going to do is every round I will roll for the spiders to see how long your illusion lasts, or how long it tricks them before they join the fray. If you guys can get through this, which you should, hopefully you can get through it in this next round, before I roll bad, then you won't even have to deal with the spiders at all. So the spiders are once again swarming across your illusion. As they're kind of swarming around it, and they're kind of trying to roll up an illusion, and it's very distracting. And Abandon, it is your turn, and you can make a save at the end of your turn to end the paralysis. And I think that's all you're going to be able to do, because a paralyzed creature is incapacitated.
Okay. I will try to break the paralysis. What do I do? What saving throw?
Constitution save.
Yeah. 19.
All right, so as this thing is latched onto your shoulder and is just sucking stuff out, you struggle and fight, and all of a sudden something inside your mental and your body just snaps, and you find yourself able to move. Fortunately, it's at the end of your turn. So, do you have any comments or anything you want to shout down to Shockwave? Any RP there?
No, I got nothing.
All right.
Just scared. Bando's very scared.
Yeah, the things, if they bite you, you're in trouble. Shockwave.
Shockwave is going to say, sorry, Abando. And then Abando and both Sturges need to make DC 16 dexterity saving throws.
Oh, no.
14.
One's dead. But the other one survived, because they have +3. So is it half damage? It might actually still kill him. If
I'm going to use my sword burst cantrip. I'm going to reach up with my all-purpose tool, and it's going to emit a force blast, and I'm going to see if I can't take out all the bugs. And unfortunately, it is all creatures but me, so it's going to hit hit a Bando.
Gonna hit your boy.
Yeah, did you make the save, though, or?
One of them
No.
made the save, and one didn't on my end.
I failed it.
Sorry, I hit mute when I coughed. You take 3 points of damage, and then if it's it's a cantrip, so no damage on a save.
Okay, so the one attached to him is still there, but you hear a as the other one just kind of you got little blades that come out. I mean, how does yours look? Because I don't imagine.
So the sword burst is kind of like a he holds up his all-purpose tool, kind of turns into like a stun baton looking thing. He holds it above him, and then it just like boom, and it's just a burst of force in every direction around me.
Okay.
But it's creatures only, has no effect on objects.
All right.
So I bug zap him.
So that splats and falls into one of the nets below.
Bonus action. My homunculus will target the last bug with a 16 to hit.
Yes.
And 5 points of damage.
Blast it right off of his shoulder like a pro. The splattering the splattering goo lands inside the nets, and you start to see several of the spiders start to and skitter towards the remains of these sturges. You guys quickly get on and get the hell out of there. Why don't you give me an athletics check with advantage there, Shockwave, to finish the crossing.
A total of 20 again. 17 and 3.
Get someone who calls you beautiful even though you look like a potato. My wife's like, I got someone special. I would never tell her she looked like a potato.
I thought it was saying you looked like a potato.
No, it's a meme that says get you someone who calls you beautiful even though you look like a potato.
Gotcha.
I would never say that to her face.
Remember, you are recording this.
I love you, Empress.
This is now internet, and once it's on the internet, it's
Doesn't
there
go
forever.
away. Yeah. All right. So you guys managed to make it. Start making it across. You get about 2/3 of the way. And that skittering starts to get louder and louder and louder, and the spiders are making their way towards you. You have an option. You can try to do something to stop them, or you can try to rush across the last length of this gap area towards the other end of this cavern. But you will have not advantage. You'll just do standard roll. I would normally do disadvantage for the chase, but since you have the rope and all that stuff kind of going on there, it would just be a regular roll. How do you guys want to do that? Do you want to try to do something to kind of ward them off? They've kind of overcome the minor illusion thing at this point.
Are they coming along the wall or along webbing or?
They are coming from the webbing, but they're crawling up the side of the wall. And there's several coming from the top down, or the side, the top down along the side of the wall as they're making their way towards you and Abando. But you might be able to get clear of them if you rush a little bit. But obviously that comes with risk, right?
Are there so they are coming on the wall, so just burning away the webs isn't going to do it. Are they coming in a direction that if I was burning webs it would slow them down, or at least some of them?
Some of them, yes.
Right. So I'm going to reach into my bag of holding and I'm going to pull out those flasks of oil that I have from the some of them I already had and some of them are from the smelter.
Right.
And I'm going to see if I can't chuck them at webs or try to otherwise get them on the webs. And then I want to detonate them with some of my gunpowder, or my pistol.
What about Abando? Any action you're going to take?
The only thing Abando's going to do is seeing that the visual illusion is no longer tricking them. He's just going to switch it up to a sound of
God damn it.
of like from below, like as close to the webs as I can, like as basically 30 feet down.
Yeah.
Just the sound of somebody shouting, "Help, help, I'm stuck in these webs. I can't move. Oh no."
What is your spellcasting modifier?
+5.
Okay, yeah,
That gives me an idea.
So several of them, the noise start just skittering towards the noise. And the how are you lighting the oil on fire there, Shockwave?
Trying to shoot it.
Give me a... Wow, I would just say you would be able to hit it. Well, actually, I think that'll build more tension if you have a chance to miss. So why don't you give me an attack roll, and we'll say the AC's 12. Something easy.
That's 14, 10 plus 4.
All right, so you chuck the vials and burst them into flames. The whole area bursts to light, and you start hearing these high squealing noises as several of the spiders begin to burn and the fire begins to spread. So the ones that were in the fire begin to spread and flail and fall, and the other ones that were coming from the other direction, Abando created a noise that kind of redirected them. So with all the chaos and the sown confusion, you guys are able to get across and finish it pretty quickly without having to deal with the spider issues. As you guys get to the edge of this, once again, another kind of a well-worn path is created, and you're able to kind of start skittering your way through through this intricate set of caverns and twists and turns. Go ahead and give me a survival check.
18.
Thank
7.
God. I'm running out of things for you guys to run into.
Yeah. I'm just not very wise. I don't tell you. I got a 7. So
Well, it's
we're gonna
more
go
about
with that.
navigating as opposed to being wise, right? Trying to figure out kind of where everything is. All right, so Abando, you've been traveling through these. You've really got. Oh, you guys lost another water, so now you're down to what, 2? And luckily, as you're getting through this area, you start. Let me find this. Hang on a second.
I have purify water, so even if we can find nasty stagnant cave water, I can deal with that. Like we have
That's
to find
convenient.
something like that.
Yeah.
It is. Picked that up on my last long rest for a reason.
Justin's like, he keeps giving me this shit with water. So it's funny you say that because I'm gonna go ahead and give you an opportunity then. Hang on, I think it's just being douchey.
You went ahead and made it sound like that work water stuff was technically palatable, so I didn't offer to purify it. But that was going to be one of my questions: is it drinkable?
Well, I haven't punished you for it yet, but you're only halfway through it. Sometimes it takes a little while for those nachos to have effect. You know what I mean? Let me check something here. My shit just crashed on me. I really hate Acrobat Reader. It just like doesn't ever work. Alrighty. Alright, so you guys start making your way back through the intricate caverns. Luckily, Abando is starting to learn. He's starting to he runs his hands down and up and down the different jagged rocks and can feel different levels of moisture. And you've started to notice that the moisture is always on one particular side. That's also the side that you find moss on, which seems to be giving you the right direction towards the north, which is the direction you want to go towards these where these vents were located, based on your visual cue from atop the Ankeg nest. So you come to a big kind of intersection area, and the crevices begin to break off once again. One starts to head kind of down to the left and down deeper in, while the other one begins to kind of continue to up and to the right. And you can smell a sulfur stench coming from the left one, and you can feel kind of a stickiness, like moisture in the air, from the one from the right. Choose your destiny.
Okay, so there's one that smells like sulfur again, and one that's got you said a stickiness?
Mm-hmm. Like moisture in the air.
Oh, fuck that. Sorry. Oof.
Well, we kind of
They're
already
both
know
bad
what
ideas.
I mean, we kind of associate the sulfur with the ooze.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it could be we've just gone around that cave. It could just be taking us to the other side, and we can avoid that entirely. I have no desire to deal with those. I mean, there's a lot of things I've had no desire to deal with, but at this point we've avoided that cave so much, I've just crossed it off my list.
Yeah. That's a really good thought. Has Abando, like, with his survival checks, realized that is the opposite side of the cave that we were on?
Give me an intel. You know what? I'm gonna give that to you. Yes, you have accurately deduced that you've probably worked your way around this kind of central cavern that a lot of these go to, and it occurs to you that, well, yes, that's all I'm gonna say. You guys didn't go there, so I didn't want to.
Had just gone through it in the first place, we wouldn't have had to deal with all this bullshit along the way. That would occur. It occurs to me.
We would have had to deal with.
All this for a couple of goddamn oozes.
Did you guys ever watch there was an old anime called Yu Yu Hakusho, and they have to go through this forest to get to the other side, and it's a race. And the big idiot runs right through the dead center without using his spiritual awareness to determine where the danger is, right, and avoid it. And he's the last person to get there, and he says, I remember somebody telling me once that a straight line isn't always the best, or the straight line is always the best and most direct route. He's like, yes, but it's also the most dangerous in some cases. And that's kind of what happened to you guys. There was an option to shorten it, but it was also one of the most dangerous options, if that makes sense. So, and that's kind of what all the survival checks are about, is kind of navigating this cluster of bullshit to find your way, which would have been easier if you would have saved the other guy, but you didn't, so he's dead, and there you go. So, but it's kind of and that's what I like. That's what I like about it. Is kind of a compilation of roles mixed with decisions that kind of have led to this moment, right? I really thought I was gonna get you guys with the dragon, though. I really did. But
If it wasn't you,
what the hell does that mean?
because you would have happily hit us with an elder worm at level 4.
I never said it was an elder or an ancient. It was big.
But it's big. The point is, level 4, if it's bigger than a horse, no.
All right, so go ahead.
Was there any chance at all to negotiate with it?
Yes.
Okay.
But that's
Okay.
part of the reason.
Spectre's with 10.
Well, part of the reason that the description of all the orcs and I hate to ruin it for anybody that's watching, but the reason for all the orcs and the adventurers is that dragons have no fucks to give. You piss them off, they're going to do whatever they want, but they're not irrational creatures in most cases. And that line about the orcs or the greed, well, guess what the heroes, quote unquote, tried to do. So, but that definitely was technically like a brass dragon, which is not necessarily bad. But it's one of those situations where if you fight it, you're going to lose, but it's not the only option. Running away is always an option in my games, though very rarely do people accept it. Though I think Troy has learned over the years that
I have noped out of more encounters that you have run in the last, since you started doing Patreon games, I think, than I have in my entire D&D career ever.
Yeah, and I've gotten into arguments about people like that, and I was like, look, players aren't the biggest, baddest motherfuckers in the world, and if you don't occasionally show them that, then it's just an easy mode. Anyways, let's get back on track. You got two directions. You're avoiding the one direction. You've identified that it basically is almost like a center point, and that's why so many paths lead to it. And so you can go back through that, which obviously makes no sense at this point. So you probably will likely continue on towards the hole with the moisture. Is that the plan?
Yes, which we think were steam vents, and that's probably what that is, and that way.
Yep. So you guys start making your way through, and it's quite taxing. It gets hotter and hotter the closer you get. You can feel the moisture in the air, the steam. I'm going to need, you're going to drink another one of those things. Now I need a Constitution saving throw against the poison effect of the not so healthy water. But it's only a DC 10, so don't freak out.
15.
Oh, DC, yeah, and I'm...
All right.
Dice doesn't hate me. Jesus, 10. Not that time. I mean, it's a good thing.
That's close.
Good thing I'm +4.
Right. So as you're kind of making your way through these cracks and crevices, the rocks here are slippery, and aside from the ropes of like a brown and black fungus and moss and lichen, nothing appears to live in this area. The area stinks of a strong, like, potent sulfur. And it grows stronger the nearer you get, and the thicker the moisture gets in the air. This acrid kind of smell is kind of wafting through up through crevices. You guys break out into this massive kind of opening, and you can see about 100 feet down from through this. As you look up, you can see kind of a crack that seems to lead out, which is similar to what you saw from above at the ankeg nest. You can see these big giant cracks with steam, and you can see one right above. And as you're sitting on this kind of like this little outcropping of your pathway, you can look down and you can see about 100 feet down. You actually spot what looks like some sort of campsite. Inside of this little area, there you see 5 horses tied up and empty feed bags hanging from their heads. About 100 feet down. You think you've found the entrance to the vents.
Horses.
Mm-hmm.
Bando needs a horse. He has a lot of debts back in town, and specifically a large one to the horse trader.
As you look down, you actually do see that they have their harnesses, their reins are the same as the ones you had. So you believe that these might be the rein, might have belonged to other adventurers who rented from Overlook, or borrowed, or confiscated, however they may have acquired them. What is the plan? Do you guys want to climb down and try to reach the ground floor there with the campfire? Do you want to stalk around a little bit and wait?
Is there any other place to go? Like from where we're at, there's no like the ledger or anything.
Yeah, basically when you walked out, there is a kind of an edge area, like an overhang that you could walk across, and that goes around this entire kind of opening, I guess. Once again, you can see light kind of trickling in from above, and there's steam coming out of several little like holes or passages on the ground level, and it's all coming up and out towards the sky. So you can't see much more than that from this vantage. Did you want to kind of walk around and kind of look around to see if there's anything else you can see?
Yeah, if we're kind of above this mess and kind of above that vegetation and stuff, I'd actually like to walk around the outside up higher and keep the bird's eye view.
All right, so as you kind of work your way around the outside, you kind of, where the campfire is and the horses are, you kind of make your way around the outside, and you look down, and you can see like this massive kind of opening, and you can see nothing but light and shining in. It clearly is the entrance from outside that leads into the vents. As you continue your investigation, why don't you give me some some perception checks?
5.
6.
You're gonna have to get farther down to really get
8.
any. You're gonna have to, from this vantage point, you can see a lot, but you can't see details. Like you can see some like shuffles of what might be footprints, but that's about it. And then you can see the exit out. This whole area kind of loops back to the one little hole that you came out of. If you do look across, you can see a very small crevice that leads out of here, but it's a very tight squeeze. Along the base below you, it's hard to see, so when you walk around the outside, you can see larger openings that look like they can fit, people abreast, side by side, no problem.
Right, well, we walked around the outside edge, and we clearly saw everything there was to see from where we're at.
Now,
so yeah, I would be climbing down. Is there a like a ramp or anything that goes down, or are we gonna have to do it the fun way?
You're gonna have to do it the fun way.
All right.
Just for clarification, you're just gonna climb right down. You also have the option of waiting to see if anybody comes around. I mean, that's also an option. I just want you to know that. Not saying that anything will happen, but I don't want you to feel like that's the only.
What I would like to do is inspect while I'm up here, get as close to the big opening as I can, and kind of, if I needed to blow up this opening and just totally crumble it, I'd like to take some time and kind of look at the rock structure and just if I needed to destroy this opening, get a feel for it.
Give me an investigation check. What
Not
is
with that
our Abando doing at this moment?
this one.
While Abando's doing, or while Shockwave is looking around at that stuff, Abando would want to stealthily crawl down, using the slippers, of course, like sticking to the wall, but like crawl down, creeping down to get as close as I can to see if I hear anything specific. I really, really, really want to find the owners of these horses, or at least know where they are.
All right, give me a perception check.
Okay.
What's up, Shockwave?
I got a 22.
I got a 2.
All right.
I'm doing it with my eyes closed.
Yeah. So you're trying to listen. You're looking, and you can't hear nothing over the sputtering and whinnying of the horses down below. They're whinnying and their stuff, whatever they do. Tails. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. I wish I could do sound effects. Is echoing off the chamber so much it's hard to hear anything, and you can't see anything. As good of an advantage as this is, you're just too far away. Meanwhile, Shockwave's over like, yep, I bet if I put a couple things right there, I might be able to collapse the entire tunnel here. We could go home in a few minutes if we wanted. Just collapse it here and be done. So you certainly think that with enough firepower, you could bring down these main tunnels.
Okay. All right. Once I'm confident with that, if nothing exciting has happened down below, looking in
Nope.
Bando's general direction.
Just a bando complaining that the horses won't shut up. So go ahead and give me a athletics check, climbing check there, Shockwave. And of course, a bando just struts down the side of the wall like Spider-Man.
That's a 17.
Yeah. So you don't bother with the pittons. You get some good grasp, and you kind of just make your way down slowly. You get here. You can tell now as you get a few feet away, the campfire appears smothered, and that one that's sitting a few yards away from the horses, like somebody actively, smothered it instead of it just burning out. Go ahead and give me perception checks again now that you're on the ground floor.
Nope. No, not that one.
18.
Hey, 21.
All right, Abando, you notice that there's footprints that seem to lead from the horses to one of the larger of the the 4 openings. And as you kind of point that out, Shockwave notices that there's specifically 5 different sets of footprints, and there doesn't seem to be any sign of prints coming out.
Entirely possible. These are the adventurers that went after the dragon gold.
Very possible, which means they would not be able to safely escort these horses back to town. And somebody needs to think of the well-being of these horses, Shockwave.
I had a thought and immediately came out my mouth. and let him run with it. Yeah, because we don't know how many. Like, we saw that there were adventurers and orcs dead around the dragon, but I don't know what we got to count. But we took our sweet time getting back here. I think if anybody had made it from there, assuming that's where these guys went, that's an assumption. Between not seeing anybody on our way out and the fact that those adventurers came from somewhere.
It's true.
Can I feel if like the fire is like still giving off any warmth or any like are there any embers or like anything like that?
So when you get close, you run your hands through the embers and it's cold. It clearly hasn't been lit for a at least, I don't know how long it takes it to run out. At least 24 hours. It's been out for at least that long, probably longer. So what's the plan? Blow up the door and head back to town, or are you guys going to venture in to see where they went? Who's in there? Because it would be shameful to blow up the entrance with potentially living people in there.
Yep. I thought of that.
So.
And 43 gold pieces a day horses.
Are they really that much?
Which could, well, it's how much I owe every single day that I don't return a horse back down. So.
The other thing that occurs to me is I left my horse corralled, but it's up by the monastery. Of course, you paid for all the horses.
I was gonna say, who's got which one got flown away? Was that?
That was Grim.
Yeah.
Grim's dropped off the cliff.
It's stupid. Stupid birds.
Bando's got eaten by the hippogriffs.
Yeah.
Oh, carried off by a hippogriff, and then I had mine corralled. Not that a hippogriff couldn't rip that corral apart. I mean, it was a makeshift thing.
Good enough to hide it up. All right. So, what is the plan?
All right. So there's the way we came in. There's the big exit out. Was there another place they could have gone?
There's 4 different major openings in this area, but the footprints only lead to the biggest one. And no footprints are coming out, yes.
Well, due diligence would be to at least look for them or possibly see if they've run into some orcs. If we encounter orcs or have any reason to believe that people are dead, we may just blow up the door and go. I'm concerned about orcs getting behind us and coming out, and we come back out here and find like 50 orcs eating 5 horses and no way to blow the door. But I also don't want to trap anybody.
Yeah, it's not like they left the horses. Like they clearly left them because they can't fit through where they're trying to go, right? It's like too narrow. But yeah, all right. Yeah, I say we follow those tracks and see what we can find.
Back in we go.
Before doing that, though, I am going to feed one of the horses all of the horses some of my rations.
It
Okay.
had feed bags. Was there?
They were empty.
Food or water there?
They were.
Empty.
It was specific. It was written specifically that they're empty.
Okay.
Which means they have been gone for at least a day or so. I don't know how long it takes a horse to eat a feed bag. I imagine a few minutes to eat their oat bag. But all right. So back into the dark, damp tunnels you guys go, and I think that's where we're gonna end for tonight.
That's fair.
This next scenario, the next 2 scenarios, specifically the potential combat, is a big one, so it'd be nice to have a bigger group, but there's some more stuff before we even get there. So I think that's a good place to start. I'm sad we didn't really use the Foundry yet, but that just means I get to play with it more before then. So all right.
We've been doing Theater of the Mind for the last quite some time anyways.
Yeah. And that's usually kind of how I prefer to do it anyway. But I've been wanting to include this because I do want to have more of those big, epic, strategical battles, more so than Theater of the Mind, because there is some good that comes out of that. Specifically, I can build far more complex encounters, which is nice. But
I like them too, for sure.
So I'm trying to kind of include more of that. So especially because it appeals to one of my players a lot. So, all right, I think that'll do it for this month's extra credit game, the part 3 of the Siege of Bordrin's Watch. We hope you guys enjoyed it. I am your Dungeon Master, Total Dumas, Justin Hanlon. Before I do our whole house cleanup, why don't you tell us who you are, who you played, and something you liked about the session. Let's start with Troy.
I'm Troy. I played Alston Shock, aka Shockwave. I like that this was an exploration. Like we had the combat, we had 2 smaller combats, but at the same time, we dungeon crawled like crazy, and I liked all the options. I admit to having some trouble keeping all the options straight.
I had to write it all down because if I didn't, I'd have been lost.
I know, and I got COVID brain going on. Like sometimes I'm just like, whereas people talking, it turns off. So I think I did an okay job keeping it together. But having all those choices and having all the places we went and seeing so many different things in and around these mountains, that was fun.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Lewis.
I'm Lewis. I played Abendo Tutorius, the half-elf rogue, and my favorite thing today was that I got to immediately use my new feat.
That was fun.
That was unexpected.
And now I think Abando has a new alias, which is Nuzuk.
Nuzuk.
That totally sounds like an orcish name too. Not just the Zook, but Nuzuk.
And now here's the thing: old Zook's body is gone, melted into slag. He does not exist. So if ever again there is one Zook, there could be one Zook.
There can only be one.
You know his mannerisms to an extent now. You can pull him off. You have a whole new persona.
You should write that up as a new persona, just like on your character sheet, and write some more details about it. Because that could be awesome. I think that would be a lot of fun.
And remember that Zook probably did whippings, not paychecks.
Yeah.
As soon as you said that, I'm like, oh, they're going to see right through it. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining the game. I'm glad you had fun. I always have fun. I know we got started a little bit later because I have a lot of things going on, but I'm excited to have you guys back next month. If you don't know, I am the host of the Crit Academy Dungeons & Dragons podcast, content creator. If it's D&D, I do it. I'm super excited to let everyone know again that we are getting closer and closer to launching another Kickstarter for Capes and Crooks, a 5th edition superhero RPG. I've taken the 5th edition rules and I changed a few of the things that, not that I don't like, but I think can be improved upon. A good example would be the at-will powers are similar to cantrips in the fact that you can use them as much as you want, but now they scale. So instead of just getting an increase to damage at 5th level, it might even be a whole new feature or an extension of the power's range or increase in damage or target multiple creatures. All those sorts of things are a lot of fun. And I even recently changed inspiration to heroic moment. So instead of getting advantage, you start with a D6 and it can get bigger. So, and you can add that to your roll. So I'm super excited for this, and hopefully you will want to check it out. If it sounds like something you might be interested in, please head on over to critacademy.com/capesandcrooks. Follow us, get notified. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. We're always posting stuff. I know the Capes and Crooks group's got some awesome people in there who are giving me lots of great feedback on character art, on powers and abilities, and overall ideas. So if you want to join us on Sunday, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be discussing Whitaker's Well of Wondrous Magic Items, a completely randomly generated magic item generator. And I'm super fun to talk about that. It's one of my favorite projects I've done recently, taking a big inspiration from Diablo and Path of Exile and all my favorite games. So, that was enough of the house cleaning. Keep your blades sharp and spells prepared, heroes. We'll see you guys all later, all right? Bye.